Hold on. I'm done.
Oh, sick time.
Hell yeah, brother. All right. Gun Gamers Podcast, episode 16. We've got
Woot.
two special guests, one of which who isn't here yet. Also, I'm getting some feedback from one of you. I don't know who it is. But two special guests. Lane was supposed to be here, but his computer caught fire, so he decided to go fight ISIS in the Middle East. And then we've got the Brain Exploder. He is the father of every major innovation in airsoft
Wow.
gameplay
Even the
recording
gearbox.
technology. How's it going, Mark?
That
How
is
you doing?
100% accurate.
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
I'm doing good. I usually have a fancier
Chilling.
intro, but I've been drinking,
Do
so
you?
I forgot. Oh, hell yeah, dude.
Some of those intros get a little out of control, so I'm almost glad that that we've got a little bit more of a tame one this time.
What, like the Josh Warren one? Oh, dude, it was great. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, no, that didn't get anyone in any trouble at all.
that didn't end so well.
Dang, everyone got thirsty after that intro. It's mass drinking going on.
Must drink.
Gotta hit that McDonald's
Got-
right. It's different.
Whew, that's right. Not
Oh,
sponsored.
fuck.
Hashtag.
Dan, what are you doing here?
Yeah.
Oh, there he goes. Never mind.
All
Somebody
right.
show up randomly.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's-
Just crash your podcast.
Oh, dude, it's
I've done that
custom at
before.
this
I've
point.
crashed these podcasts.
Yeah. So, Kaylee, why don't you get us started on some of these topics? Because we do have the man himself here, and we have him alone, so we might as well just start asking him questions.
What's he
Yeah,
so
I mean,
Please
well,
ask me questions.
just wanted to start, with the basics, like, because there's probably people on the channel that
Social
maybe
security
don't know
numbers.
you. I know you
Oh,
are a huge celebrity, so
Of course. Of
Um,
course. You're welcome
we'll
for me
want to
being
talk
here,
about,
by
like,
the way.
Thank you for your
Yeah,
VP
thank you very
service,
much
Namaste.
for coming on.
so you can be on the podcast.
Should we
with us.
should sing Imagine? Like
Here's
the
the
real
thing, though.
celebrities.
Yeah, I was gonna say the biggest celebrity on this podcast right now is T-Pain, courtesy of
Oh
Caleb
yeah.
microphone. But
Yeah.
Oh,
dude,
yeah. So,
Yeah.
sorry to everybody. Something is wrong with my internet. I don't know what it is, but it's going in and out. So just bear with me, everybody. But
Yeah.
yeah, we just want to get to know you, the Brain Exploder. Like how'd you get into airsoft? Like what started it all? Did you
Really?
just get into airsoft for airsoft, or was YouTube always like part of it?
Need for money. No, airsoft was like a transition from video games. Just like, I don't know, 50% of the people probably that end up in airsoft. It's sort of like you have access to one at first, and then you want to go the next level without, going out to the Middle East and getting your head blown off. So you go, hey, there's this like in between step, which is like, it looks the same, but it's like the safest sport in the world. So found that, this is back like in the mid 2000s. Luckily, we still had Google back then, so I managed to find airsoft. I think I found an airsoft store near me. Luckily, we're in California, so lots of options there. Airsoft Extreme actually was like, I don't know, 2-3 miles away from my house at that time. And this is everyone's official marking of, if you've been around for a while, if you remember Shorty
The
USA,
big flex.
oh, Shorty
the blue
USA.
website. Yeah.
Oh,
Hell
damn.
yeah.
Oh, man.
And
So the first thing-
Kapowie.
Oh yeah. First thing I got from there was like some green gas non-blowback pistol, because it was like sub 100. It was just a safe way to get into with those stick mags that pull out that are
Oh,
not
yeah.
actual mags.
The best.
And then after that, I got a Marui AK, I believe, because I instantly didn't want an M4 like what everyone else had. Even though my first gun, it's probably a better option. But and then just grew from there. And then eventually, I got this little camera that I had to like mount with some brackets to the side of my helmet. I just made a video of me enhancing like the videos I made back then in like 2007 with it, and it was terrible. And YouTube was just like in its infancy, so there was no demand for it, and the footage was terrible. And I don't know who would watch it anyway. It's kind of they go hand in hand, because the footage is terrible, and then there's no audience for it because it's real boring to watch. You can't tell anything. Audio's unusable. So I was kind of doing airsoft YouTube before it was really a thing, but there was no audience for it. And then I got back into it later. Like airsoft was kind of on and off for me. I'd play it, since it's just a hobby. Whenever you have time, whenever you have the need for it, or the want for it, and then later on, a few years later on, I remember seeing I think it was Level Cap and Jets videos, like around late like 2012, 2013, and I'm like, wow, these guys are like local, and these cameras are now quality. This like, GoPro had come around back then. So I was like, okay, I could probably do this, and that sounds like fun. So, got the GoPro, blah, 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 all the standard stuff. And started doing a little bit of videos. Then, of course, you need the zoom cam. And I think back then the only option was to, like, buy some kit from Contour and build it yourself, which seemed unappealing. The Contour was gigantic. So the first thing I did was I took a Mobius and I shoved one of those iPhone lenses you get for like zoom shots that you put to your iPhone camera.
Yeah.
So I like rigged up a thing that lined them up, and it actually worked pretty well. I probably have like, I don't know, 10, 15 videos with that setup, but it was a little bulky. And then somehow an idea came to me, like, what if you go, hey, look who's here?
Oh my God, it's the BB Warrior. Holy shit.
Oh my God.
Look who decided to finally
Sliding
fucking show
the
up,
stream.
Lane.
Now that my computer finally wants to work, yeah. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Now
But
that it finally works.
you're interrupting the Brain Exploder, so
Yes.
kindly shut
I'm
up.
listening to this story right now.
Kindly shut your fucking mouth, Lane.
There you go. You get your own box. Anyway, I'll just finish
Yeah,
that off.
This is now like the second iteration of the camera.
Yeah, well, I got tired of having the thing in front of it, so I was like, well, maybe there's a lens that could be replaced, because it already has a lens. What if there's a lens that can be fitted into the existing, place? And through a lot of research and a lot of weird forum reading, it turns out they use the same lenses as like CCTV cameras. So from there, I found a couple lenses that were available, tried them on. Eventually it fit, and it worked for me. And of course, like, you put stuff up and people are like, hey, can you make me one? I was like, no. But then eventually I talked to my friend. I'm like, hey, you want to make some money? I think there's a market for this. And we started making the zoom cams because it's not super complex, but it didn't exist at the time. Now everyone's seen that market exists, and now all these camera manufacturers are now starting to release their own airsoft versions because it's basically a lens swap. And I made a video about it back in the day like an idiot, instead of hoarding whatever secrets I had found.
You should have patented that shit.
I'm like, well, I don't, definitely not patentable, but I shouldn't have been like, hey, this is how you do it for yourself, you guys. And then Average like makes it, starts selling them. I'm like, what the hell is this crap? With like no credit,
Oh,
no
you made
nothing.
this? I made this.
Yeah, basically, he internet memed me. And I was like, okay, I guess that's how it's gonna be. So now I've been a lot more secretive about my stuff. Where before I was like, here, have the information, the internet. Now I'm like, I'll get it to you when I feel like it, when I'm done with it. Like I'm not in a rush to just throw it out there. So that's probably why you're not seeing a whole lot of developments on the POV cam. I'm kind of keeping that to myself for now.
I can appreciate that, honestly.
Yeah, and then
it's
at some
probably
point,
the smartest thing to do from a business standpoint, because I mean, like you just described, otherwise someone's just gonna crib your shit, and then it's a bit of a problem.
yeah, I mean, even if I just get credit for it, I wouldn't be so salty about it. But when someone just takes straight up something you kind of discovered, I mean, it's not like I invented the damn camera, but it's something that didn't exist that I made public, and then someone's making a business out of it. That kind of rubs you the wrong way real quick,
Yeah.
without even getting any of that credit for it. So
What's up, guys? I'm here to steal your shit.
My
Jesus.
totally original high kappas and totally original other whatever his pistol is, the Mark 23.
Oh, the SSX.
Stop it. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. The SSX is a nice pistol actually, but I don't know. It's
23.
It's a non-blowback Mark 23. Like it's
Yeah.
how many ways can you skin that cat?
I mean, I don't know. Mine doesn't work at all, so.
Oof.
That's what I
That's
gotta say about that.
Oof. The one we got sent worked great, and that was where our review came from. So, disclaimer.
No, yeah. I watched that video and I was like, I was watching it with my my already negative mentality about the gun. But
So negative.
you guys apparently got a good one. So
Yeah, well, you can only review the one that you get.
yeah.
It's always the trouble with reviews.
Yeah, you can't review a whole batch through a whole series of games. That would be the only way to properly do it.
So when it
Yeah,
comes
well,
to your... Okay, go ahead.
No, I mean I was just gonna go off on a tangent, but we can do that later with the content creation shit. Let's keep going with the camera stuff.
Yeah, so one thing I've noticed with you is it's not just like creating various mounts for cameras, whether it's the Boonie camera, you know, or the Boonie hat mount, or the actual like fucking Nod Shroud mount. You've also done like kits for guns. Like I saw your AUG A3 kit. Is that like 3D printed, or what did you do for that?
Yeah, pretty much everything I make is 3D printed, just because with Shapeways being like, it sort of works like the App Store. That's the best way to compare it is.
Yeah.
You upload your stuff and then everyone has access to it, and they handle all the traffic, the shipping, the manufacturing. So it's a great way for creators to be able to make stuff, and then you kind of offload it. You don't have to sit there and print like every one little one-off thing that comes in and then keep track of inventory or warehouses or shipping. So I like the fact that it lets me make stuff, upload it, market it, and then it's kind of a hands-off process from there. But yeah, it's all
kinda like
3D
how
printed.
Teespring works.
Yeah, same idea. You just basically create the design and then they handle everything from there. But yeah, everything I do is pretty much 3D printed. Just I love the media so much. It's so flexible and it's so limitless compared to even traditional manufacturing, and it's so repeatable, which is another big thing. You could make something cool, but then make it again and get motivated to make it again. It's tough, man. Like I was doing that carbon fiber build last year. Oh my god, it took so long. It's all just chemicals everywhere, and it's whatever happens. It could get cast one way, you could get air bubbles. Next time you get some of that, you flip the material the wrong way. It's so many ways to screw it up doing it again. And 3D printing is just it's all robots. There's very minimal that could go wrong, sort of like some chemical imbalance in the mix or something. But for the most part, it's dead on, and everything fits to every customer, and it's amazing. I think it's the way of the future for manufacturing, honestly. Once it gets a little more affordable and more accepted, it's gonna be you're not gonna buy products, you're gonna buy plans for products. Like you'll purchase a thing, you print at home. Like you need an outlet cover or something. You're not gonna go to Home Depot. You buy a blueprint for it. It goes from your phone to your printer. You go pick it up off your printer and you install it on the wall. I think a lot of stuff will be that simple, and that saves on shipping, material, crap coming from China, other than the filament, but a lot less waste. So I think it's part of the kind of the green movement that's going to be incorporated into that as well. So,
Well, and it's actually incredibly strong too. Is the part that always impresses me about 3D printing, because I still have the Brain Exploder GoPro mount for my helmet from like 5 years ago that I've been using this whole time. That I don't know. Have you had any of those break?
TSA has broken a couple of them, but that's about it.
Well, TSA, I don't know. TSA could break a steel ball bearing.
Yeah. I don't know what they're doing over there, but I guess if you throw it off like an edge of a 737, maybe it'll break. But for most normal use, it's pretty durable. It's hard to break. I mean, it's solid. It's like solid filled. It's not like home printing where it's like that kind of the zigzag X pattern. This is like just solid laser edge kind of material that's layered on top of each other. So yeah, it's got a lot. Plus now they got carbon infused printing. Yeah, the carbon infused stuff is insane. It's like steel level strength. So it just needs to get more affordable, more accessible, and everything's going to be 3D printed. That can be 3D printed.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think I had my mount for 3 years before I broke it, and I think it only broke because I just had it on my mask. I threw it in the car and then dropped a gun case on it, and then it snapped. So it's pretty reasonable, but it lasted 3 years with me just throwing my mask around and dropping it and dragging it, and nothing ever happened. So it's super strong material, and it's good. I like it. Any color you want. So
that's right. That too. Yeah, it's all one off. There's no waste. There's no like I didn't order 5,000 black ones and then all of a sudden everyone's pink ones, and now I have to trash all the black ones or discount them. It's every order is just printed, dyed to the customer's needs. So very very little waste.
So, I mean, I don't know how much of this you're comfortable with disclosing, but like, I'm assuming that that's a pretty good business model too, like getting into that whole camera market, that because you were really marketing that way of recording gameplay, like a lot of those different accessories necessary for what we would call the modern airsoft gameplay video. You were marketing that before that market was as big as it is. So I'm assuming that like now you watch a lot of those videos and you're like, haha, thanks for your money.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of competition, especially a lot of the mounts, they get just straight up knocked off by China too. And China's terrible at pricing things, and they just take something that has a current value of like, $25, $30, and they'll sell it for like $4.99. I don't know how they come up with these prices. But so they undercut me like
Slave
crazy,
labor.
and I see a lot of that like knockoff stuff. But yeah, it's a good bargain. It's a good business because like the Shapeways stuff is hands off, so I like it because it lets me create. And then the camera stuff I run with my buddy who handles all the shipping and the customer stuff. But I'm just mostly in charge of creation, like prototyping, testing, marketing, and then that lets me focus on kind of the creative part of it because it's always changing, and you gotta have the passion to create products. Because if you ever try to create a product for something you're not into, it's impossible. First, you don't even understand what you're trying to improve or how the business works or how it'll be received. But when you're in it, all you're doing is just filling a need that you personally have, which is where 99% of these products came from. It's like, oh, I need to record something, or I need a helmet mount, or I need some kind of grip that holds a battery or something. And it's all just like, well, how do I do this? So I problem solve, and then at the same time, I know if I need it, when time you need something, there's like 1,000 other people that need it. And with the internet, where you could get with your one idea in this one place to like the whole world, now it's just a matter of getting it out there on the web and letting whoever wants it get a hold of it. So again, with Shapeways and YouTube and everything, you could just post it one time, and anyone who needs it gets access to it, and they get the same kind of quality of care or the same quality of presentation that you would if you were doing it the first time to a person. But imagine if you had to go and sell it door to door to each person, your 5,000th presentation would be like, I mean, you could not have the energy and the excitement you need to kind of sell somebody on it, trying to repeat yourself every day at every place. So I love the beauty of how repeatable everything is on the internet. You can just put out your best leg forward, and that's what everybody sees.
That's why people think I'm a tolerable human.
Because I have to deal with you on the daily.
Yeah, exactly.
It's
Different story.
It's unrelenting, but so you've had
Horrible.
Ian.
yeah, exactly. So you've had a couple of really, really interesting projects in the past, whether that's the GoPro mounts or the actual run cam mounts, and right now you're working on the POV cam, which is just the coolest shit to me, because I get to see through your eyes. And do you have any plans of making that like commercially available at this point, or no?
I've thought about it. My first thing was like, yeah, because everyone was like hyped on it. I was hyped on it, but the more I use it, it's so finicky right now that it's not very user friendly, to be honest. And I know if I put it out there as a product, all I'd be dealing with is all the grievances from people. I've had problems with it where I would go and record and like the video stutters or the camera turns off. Like the cameras themselves are not the most polished, obviously, because it's not made by GoPro or anything. So it's like, there's 5 tiers down from somewhere. They're meant for like a totally different purpose. Everything's being repurposed. And then recording with them, it's a little bit of an inconvenience, as you can imagine. If you're trying to get the same view as your eye, there's stuff near your eye, especially the dual one that I run right now. I have one on each eye in case I go like left shoulder, right shoulder. It's pretty invisible. Like, I mean, your brain is really good about filling in the gaps. If there's something blocking you, like put your hand in front, you still pretty much see everything. And especially like in the distance where the 2 eyes can compensate. But it's just not extra consumer friendly right now. I'm trying to come up with a way where it's like helmet mounted and it's adjustable. But it's just as is. I don't know. Plus, I like the appeal of having the only true POV airsoft gameplay channel.
Yeah.
Like, I know it's kind of selfish, I guess, but
Nah,
isn't
dude,
that
you got
what
that
ev-
market.
that's what
think it's
everybody else
selfish.
Yeah,
does.
it's not selfish at all. You gotta have your gimmick.
Yeah. Dude.
Yeah, and to me, it's like it's so interesting, and I kind of got the passion to edit again when I switched to that camera because it gets monotonous doing the same stuff. That's why like every time I go, I'm using a different gun. I just can't do that whole same gun, same field, same everything. It's like why are you making the same video like every week? How much can you do that till it's like becomes monotonous? So I'm always trying to
I
switch
have
it up.
things I want to say right now, but keep going.
MP5 is already
Please, it's
dead.
your
Moving
podcast.
on to something else.
Oh, it's my podcast, but I like to remain friendly with specific people. So keep going.
Yeah, so it's just that kind of brought the editing passion again, and I'm looking forward to getting out there and trying it out on some different guns and different scopes and stuff. So it basically I trick myself into always doing something new and fun. So then I'm always excited for the hobby because
Keeping it fresh.
it could get a little boring, like if you're just doing the same thing over and over, and you've been doing it for so many years that you gotta keep like chasing the whatever the next thrill is, sorta.
Well, and
How's
that
that
was a
for-
huge part of why like Lane switched away from doing so much gameplay, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, because I was always going to the same field because in our area there isn't
Yeah, you guys don't have as
that many
choices.
fields, and I was always using the same gun, and a lot of the fields here are kind of small, so I'd always take the same exact route, so it just felt like the same video every week.
Yeah, it could definitely be that way. Some people they make a living off of that, and I don't know if the viewers don't care. I feel like I as a viewer would care because I do care. If I'm seeing the same video a third time, I'm like, what am I watching here? You're gonna go to your spot because you know every little nook and cranny on the field.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know,
You're
that
gonna get
perfect
20 kills
spot
from
to
there.
sit.
It's like, okay, you're dumping on
All that
noobs that don't
matters
know
is
that you're hiding.
cheaters.
Yeah, dude,
Oh,
all
yeah.
that matters is cheaters.
You could go same field, same gun, but if you shoot a couple cheaters, you're
There you
good,
go.
man.
You need
Listen,
to
I just go to the field whenever Lane is there, because then I can just be like, BB Warrior did what, and then just do nothing. So
And then we'll just
Perfect.
have fake drama all day. It's wonderful.
Oh yeah, well we never did the fake patch burning drama. That was sad.
We were going to, but then all this happened, so we couldn't see each other anymore.
Yeah, and now I spoiled it. So fuck.
Who's
Damn.
next? Gonna get burned.
Don't worry, no one watches these anyway. It's okay. So I've one question I did have about the POV cameras. Have you used that for like recording night vision gameplay at all? I'm wondering how well that actually works for night vision gameplay.
Well, my night vision gameplays are essentially POV anyway, because the camera that I designed for the
Yeah.
night vision recording, it clips in line with the eye line or the viewport, whatever on the back. So you're seeing exactly what I'm seeing through my right eye of my night vision. Like the left one I leave open, and again the two eyes kind of clear the image up. But that's already POV essentially. That I kind of want to shift more to almost a third person point of view and just have the nods for viewing and then have the camera for recording.
You have a
'Cause-
PVS 14 or something on your shoulder.
Yeah, or the Psionics camera. That thing's pretty
Yeah,
pretty great for like recording. Maybe not so much for looking through and using as a monocle, but for recording
That's what I've
third
heard. When you
person.
actually use it for its intended purpose of being a camera, it works great.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. I don't know why everyone's surprised. It's just, you'll get there. And I've used it as a scope cam behind the magnifier and shot through it, and the latency is a little bit there, but if it's a standing target, it's not
Yeah,
that big an issue.
it's like using
Yeah.
a thermal. It just doesn't have the inherent advantages of being a thermal, and that's why I don't really like it as much. Digital
It's
night
also
vision-
Even in
not
color,
as
it's pretty nice.
expensive as a thermal.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
400
colored
bucks.
night vision option is really freaking cool to see.
Well, you can get
Yeah.
colored night vision add-ons right now for like PVS 14 style goggles or
For how
fucking
much
binoculars.
money?
For a lot of money, but if you're in the night
Yeah,
vision
well-
game, you're spending a lot of money anyway.
But the Psionics is like $300, and you can basically like throw it around and do whatever you want with it.
I don't know. It's useful. It's not competitive.
Well, it's
Well,
not,
yeah, but it's not also
trying
meant to be
competitive, I don't think.
competitive with Gen 3. The problem is a lot of people want it to be competitive with that, but
It will
it's
be
not
one day.
trying to be right now. And people are just reading into that more than they should be.
So digital night. Go ahead, Mark.
I don't think they even expected this market to exist
Oh,
really.
no.
I think they made a night vision camera for like boating. I think was their main market.
Yeah.
Because at night you want to see, if there's a ship
Yeah.
or a buoy ahead or something, and you don't need that instant response. You just don't want to run into the damn thing. But then airsofters like glopped onto it because they're like, oh, free cheap night vision, hell yeah! And they're making mounts for it. They're running duels. They're like, okay, let's go with it.
Dude, it's great
So-
to
Yeah.
see. Yeah.
I'm
I-
sure
it's
they're
how
excited
they
about
run
having a new
ads
market.
for it.
Well,
Like,
so what I like about it
they
is
are.
that it's funneling more money into the company itself. So that means you're going to see more innovation from that company itself. And for anyone who doesn't know, digital night vision really is the future of night vision. Like
yeah.
we've stretched analog night vision beyond like adding like thermals and shit to it. It's stretched as thin as it's going to get at this point. Like I think the most ridiculous thing I've seen so far is like the EOTech or L3 Harris recently released some pictures of like their new GPN VGs that have a built-in thermal on it. Shit's gonna be like 70 grand, but that doesn't matter to anyone in this call. 'Cause
Just
none of
stop
us-
being poor.
Yeah, exactly. Just stop being poor. But once we get past this current generation of night vision, I'm fairly certain we're going to start to see digital night vision kind of take over the market because it's going to be cheaper. You're going to be able to record from it. It's going to be color. It's going to have so much more adjustability. Not to mention the fact that like it's easily you can easily integrate like various data transfer software into it, like
Yeah.
ATAC or whatever else.
You could
you
probably
have.
integrate thermal right into it as well with like
Oh, yeah.
overlays or something, and then you could change the percentage maybe, and
And you can integrate recording into it, which means that that will be one less adapter that you have to make.
yeah, and it's just more comfortable for everyone.
Oh yeah.
I only make them because they need
Put
to,
the
because they don't
money.
exist. No,
Mhm.
there's always some niche that needs to be filled. It'll come. Like this night vision came around. Oh, like mounts need to exist for it, so I had to make a rail mount for it.
Can I get
It all dictates.
Can I get you to 3D print like an 8-tube Psionics adapter for me, so I can just flex on the GPN VG boys?
Oh my god.
God, that would weigh so much.
It'd
You would
be
need like a
it'd be
counterbalance
like a
of
4.5 pounds on my
small
phone. It'd be so
pun,
good. Yeah.
Put a couple of free weights on the back of your helmet. It'll be good.
Start working that neck.
Dude, even like the fucking like the not heavy dual tubes, like my RNVGs are fucking heavy, man. When you're wearing that ballistic helmet for a while, even with a counterweight, it starts to suck. Mark, what are you running as far as nods go?
I have dual Sentinels from formerly Atom Industries. I don't think they exist anymore, but
They're
They're really
into AB Night Vision, and they make the RNVGs now.
well, there you go. Yeah, they're really nice. It was a big step up from the 14 and the 7 I had. Although I like the 7 better than the 14. I know that's not a popular opinion on here. Or anywhere on the internet.
If you ever defend PVS 7s anywhere, then all you're going to get is everyone who thinks dual tubes are a personality shitting on you.
well, I mean,
sevens
they
are
are
fine.
sort
man.
of dual tubes in a way, even though there's 2 to 1. But
Well, they're mirrored dual tubes, but honest to God, they're fine. Like they'll do the job just fine. I mean, if we managed to kill a whole lot of members of the Taliban and Al Qaeda with them in the early 2000s, I'm sure that your average, airsofter will get more than enough use out of them.
yeah. So you're always comparing it to your eyesight, so it beats the hell out of that any day.
Yeah. It's better than like the Armacite Spark core that everyone was running around with before they had the fucking psionics shit around.
Well, yeah, that's
Oh,
what
the
Psionics is
Spark
competing with,
Core.
and they're destroying that
Oh,
easily.
dude, Armacite's fucked.
Oh, the
That was-
Psionics is so much better than the Spark Core. I personally witnessed someone injure themselves trying to use a Spark Core. So that
Hardcore,
that
hard.
has a very no, it wasn't good. But that's an interesting thing though with talking about night vision recording though. Like night vision gameplay is still one of those things that we don't really see that much of. And I feel like it's really only a burgeoning market now that people are really starting to get into it. Like if you think about what content creators are out there and what percentage of their gameplay is night vision oriented, like I feel like you actually have the highest percentage of stuff that's recorded in night vision.
Yeah, it's the most unpopular videos I make. For some reason, people hate night vision gameplay.
Really?
I don't know why.
Nobody
but-
like. People
you
don't like the
think-
green, maybe. Or
I
the,
think it's
the
just
weird tint.
uncomfortable to watch because they're coming from an 8K or 4K GoPro stabilized
Yeah,
gameplay
true.
video, and then they're watching this green mess that's all like fuzzy and
Yeah, it
I'm
looks
like,
like a
oh,
Yeah,
Taliban
but that's what
raid
night
in
vision looks
06.
like.
I know that's what it looks like, but they want it to look like Modern Warfare, and they're pissed off
Yeah.
when they show up and it just looks like a circle and there's some indistinguishable guy I'm shooting at a mile away with a
Well,
little
plus it's like-
tracer.
slow and quiet, like you're whispering and you're not moving around like
Yeah,
at
which to me is a
breakneck
cool
speeds.
factor. It's like it's
Yeah,
all
that's what makes it
stealth
It
and-
builds up
That's-
that like
yeah.
suspense.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't think people have used night vision. They expect it to be something else, and when they see
Oh yeah, they
it for
expect
what
it
it
to
is,
be the
it's like, meh.
GPNVGs from fucking Modern Warfare. Like, no, you've got
Yeah.
40-degree field of view, with two eyes if you're fucking
It's like
really
this.
shelling out dough. Yeah, it's
And
like
everything's
it's
just
like
blown out
this.
close to you. Anytime you turn on, you kind of light on, and there's
Oh,
some
dude.
speed software who's doing this the whole time, and you're like, no lights. We're SEAL Team 6, please.
I spent $8,000 on this. Jesus
You're
Christ.
not lying with your $20 light.
Yeah, it's just it's expectation versus reality. Plus, when you take, I mean, NVG already looks compared to your day eyesight
It
pretty
ain't
crappy,
good.
and then you start to throw a camera behind it, which drops another level, and people are just like, eh. They think it's just daytime with a green filter, basically. That's what they want to see. Maybe I
think
should just make
Psyonix is
daytime
the way to
videos with
go
a
for
green
that.
filter.
Oh,
the
shit.
Psyonix, yeah, that's why
Great.
I want to record with Psyonix, because it's more interesting to view. It might not be as good for actual function, but that's why you use the night vision, I think, for actual, shooting and aiming, and then you use the Psyonix for documenting the whole thing, and then you kind of get the best of both worlds and probably a more interesting product in the end.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
my
that
take.
would be really cool.
Yeah, just need another Psyonix.
True.
Then you can
Don't we
paint
all?
that one all over again too.
Sponsors me.
That's what you should do. Is just send an
Sponsors.
email. Just send an email to Psyonix and just put in like the header. Do you know who I am?
Oh, I'm friendly with them. I've talked to them at SHOT Show. That we have.
Oh, never
communicated
mind.
back
That
and forth.
loses some
Oh.
of its appeal then.
I know.
There's
Do you know
already
that- do a
rapport.
Random. Do you know who I am? Email out of the blue. What's up? This guy? I like your approach, though.
No, you
Oh,
need
that's-
to
that's
approach
exactly
him
what
like,
I
"Hey
did.
guys, I'm really good friends with Lane from the BB Warrior. I'm
That'll
gonna
get you
need this." Yeah.
Like, please never email us again. Please block this email address.
Sent to Shadow Realm.
Oh man. But anyway, we do have Lane here, and I feel like he's been.
Oh.
We should ask. We should ask Lane some stuff.
I'm just kind of praying that my laptop keeps working after what happened earlier. But yeah,
The smoothest video so far.
Seems to be working better than mine, so you're winning at something.
well, that's first.
I mean, it's a low bar to have better than Kaylee right now because the T-Pain audio comes and
Hey,
goes.
man.
But
Your
Here's my
toaster is really
legs.
shiny. The reflection will be better than whatever Kaylee's currently working on.
I don't.
Have to feed
Was
the
that a
hamster
huge
a couple more.
bottle of Pepsi, Lane, or are you just tiny?
Eric, I'm the same height as you, but this is just a regular bottle of Pepsi.
Your hand, it just looks so big next to you for some reason.
It's like those pictures of Andre the Giant's hand around like a 12-ounce beer, and it makes it look like a mini giant. Yeah.
But why Pepsi? That's the real question. The inferior
Yeah,
cola.
gross.
It's the only
Yeah.
thing that Grubhub
Whoa.
delivered this afternoon.
Oh, okay. Well, it's
Wow.
You're about
forgivable.
to talk shit about Pepsi.
That's the right
we're
answer.
gonna have problems.
Oh
Dude,
no, we got a
It's
Pepsi.
Coke or nothing. Coke or
A-
nothing.
As long as
Why
it's
would
not
you
like
drink the knockoff?
RC
It's a
Cola.
Chinese
or
MVG
Shasta
mount you're
Cola.
basically using. Shasta.
Really, the best one is Dr. Pepper, but
Dr.
you know.
Pepper is the...
Absolutely.
Listen, don't you
Which-
talk shit on
Coca-Cola
Dr. Pibb,
brand.
okay?
Wait,
Dr. Pibb's
Mr.
clearly the
Pibb,
best.
Hello.
Mr.
Dr.
Pibb,
excuse me.
Pibb.
Oh, Mr. Pibb's
outta
the less
here.
educated
All right,
brother.
this is
of
no
Dr.
longer
Pepper.
an airsoft podcast. Everyone in the chat, drop your favorite soda, and we'll argue about them.
And you know it's gonna be Mountain Dew 90% if it's a bunch of 12-year-old COD players over there.
that hurt my stomach to hear.
Got gotta get your
Code Red.
gotta get your nacho cheese Doritos and your Code Red Mountain Dew.
Mountain Dew Livewire. That's the good one, or the Game Fuel.
Oh yeah, G Fuel. That's all the gamers use.
G Fuel.
'Cause
Ah,
they're
yes.
so
No, it's
physically-
gamer
Not the
subs
energy drink
now.
one, the original Game Fuel.
Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
you
Different.
remember the OG
Wait.
Game Fuel? No.
Yoo-hoo?
No, I don't.
All right, never mind.
Yoo-hoo, I got that. Okay.
Yoo-hoo.
You know, Yoo-hoo's
Yeah,
the
dude,
original Game
Yoo-hoo.
Fuel.
Used to kill
Alright.
huge packs of Yoo-hoo during the sweet Mario parties.
Dude, then you had the Modern Warfare 2 days where everyone was just mixing fucking 5-hour energy and 4 Loco to make your glorious 9-hour Loco.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
9 Loco, hell yeah.
Dude, it was some
Drinks
good
are coming
times,
in
that
hot.
shit.
Jolt.
Jolt.
Granny Squirt. Oh God.
I'm a fan of Crystal Pepsi personally. Thank you.
Dang, you have to buy
I
that
will
on
tell
eBay
you,
now.
the number of people who like Squirt is
Squirt is
upsettingly
good.
high.
I
Mellow
Mellow
is
yellow is
not
my thing.
It's really good.
like
Squirt
Mellow
is
Yellow.
horrible.
Squirt,
What about
Cactus Cooler? Yeah.
Cactus Cooler?
There we go.
Wait, are they the
That's the
same
best.
flavor?
Dude, listen.
The
No,
one's like
Squirt's
pineapple.
like lemon, you're right.
Yeah.
If you're not drinking Sunset
Cactus Cooler pineapple.
Sarsaparilla, you're doing it wrong, okay, brother?
Oh, sorry. Let me pop open my Nuka-Cola Quantum and drink that down.
Damn.
All right, we got way off topic, but
Slurm, is that even a thing? What are these people
What,
saying?
Slurm?
There are
That's
no
from
That's from
Futurama.
Futurama, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
slurm.
Slurms Mackenzie. I've been partying since longer than I can remember.
Oh man. I don't even know who to ask questions to at this point. It's just gone that far
I
off
think it
the
was
rails.
Lay's turn.
Lane, what do you got going on right now? What are you working on?
Ask yourself
Right.
questions and answer.
Tell us.
Right now, now that I just finished college, I'm really have like a renewed passion for making YouTube videos, which is kind of neat. I haven't felt that in a while, and of course, it's right when I can't go out and play airsoft. But really, there's some videos I've wanted to do for a while. Some of them I filmed with Eric a couple of months ago, so those will be exciting to publish. But
oh yay!
yeah, realistically, one of the hard things for me was figuring out something that people liked to watch and would enjoy, but at the same time, I'd enjoy making them. Because like you brought up earlier, Mark, if you don't enjoy what you're doing, you're not
Yeah.
going to be very good at it. And I just felt like making some of the videos that I used to make, I just didn't enjoy it anymore because it felt like I was making the same thing every week. So some of these new videos, I'm really excited for some different things that I haven't really tried before on the channel.
Yeah, it's the time
Rad.
to try things right now since you can't do traditional game videos, so you have to get creative and do quarantine videos.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have noticed, but it seems like watch time's going up pretty high for just about everybody right now because everyone's at
fucking
home.
bored.
So
Dude,
I
we're
mean,
getting like
there's
30 minutes of average watch time on these podcasts. I'm like, wow, I feel
Jesus.
special.
So there's more
I
people
have
that sit there
watch
and
time.
tell me that my
Ridiculous.
videos are trash, and I can try new things. But comment on
Always be
videos
those
from like
people.
4 years ago and be like, "This sucks." You'd be like, "Cool, I'll watch a new video."
I get comments on the video where I had the American flag the wrong way. This is like 6 years ago the video was made.
The
Like,
stars
"Flip
are
the flag!" I'm
supposed
I
to
flipped it
face the
6 years
assault,
ago. I don't know what
brother.
to do to this video. I cannot go back in time like
You have to
Marty
go back
McFly
and
and
edit
freaking
it.
flip the stupid thing.
Remember,
Yeah.
you-
Video.
listen,
You
you
have to
have to
actually
salute that
invent the
American
DeLorean
flag.
time machine so you can go back and stop yourself from wearing the flag the wrong way.
What
Oh,
will these
God.
people comment now? Their whole life is obsolete now.
Listen,
They have
if you're
nothing
not-
to do.
If you're not saluting that American flag before you go onto the field every single time.
Please, can we let this controversy die?
Do you guys as fields play the national anthem before every
Oh,
game?
No, it's a
No.
reference to the hot controversy when we had Josh on the podcast like a month ago.
Because we do have fields here that will play the anthem before the game start.
No, you don't really run into that as much in Western New York. I've never seen it personally. I've had like the only thing I've ever seen even remotely similar to that was an event that I was at where they were like, any active duty members of the military
Oh,
or
right.
veterans or whatever, you can come up and we've got a special patch for you guys for this event, and
Yeah,
It's
Line
just-
Claws does that all the time.
it wasn't a Lion Claws event. It was someone. I'm not gonna mention the name of them, but I ended up going up and brand new boot Ian is just like, oh cool, I got a sweet patch, but now I'm just like, that's just me though. Again,
Didn't
this is
they,
my
do
own
that
personal
Rope Home
opinion.
5?
This does not reflect the opinions of the United States military at all. So yeah,
Sweet disclaimer.
yeah, I need to start giving that
Disclaimer.
before every single podcast because I tend to drink on these, and I'm gonna say some stupid shit eventually.
You always say
We need to have a
stupid
sweet
shit.
Oh,
legal
yeah.
clause.
You just need to print that on a shirt. You need to actually make that your next design for your spread shirt. Just says,
shit.
"My opinions do not reflect those of the U.S. military."
Yeah, exactly. It's like with those Grantham videos. Like you're getting a spicy one when it's just like, this video does not reflect the opinions of the United States Air Force. Just like, yes, it's gonna be good.
Wait, but we should see your new shirt, your new design that you've
Oh,
done. Well,
one
I guess
sec.
it's not a shirt; it's a hoodie. Yes,
Oh.
please show
Live
us.
reveal here.
Yeah,
Yeah,
plug it.
live reveal.
Plug it.
Oh wow, he's got to go way far.
Everyone who's watching right now tuned in just in time for the commercial portion of the podcast.
Yeah. This podcast is sponsored by none other than Ian's
Raid
favorite
Shadow
sweatshirt.
Legends, the most immersive RPG experience on the Play Store.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes. The greatest thing I've ever seen.
So if you want a shirt with my face on it,
Here's the thing. Why did you make the tab Ian? It should have been neat.
Oh, you're right, dude. Fuck, I need to order another one now.
Yeah, it needs to be that. It needs to just say neat, not Ian.
Exactly. But if you guys want to buy this, it's on the Task Force Keg Supply Shop Spreadshirt, and yeah, you're free to wear this. If you come up to me wearing this at an event, I'll probably run away in terror because you have
get
my
a pat
face
on the
your
back.
shirt. But you get a pat. I'll give you a hug. I'll give you a hug and a crisp high five. But with that
You don't
out of
want to.
the
You don't
way-
want to sign their hoodie because you're such a big time podcast celebrity. Oh,
Oh,
he's walking away.
Anyway,
Sick
Put the
dog.
word away.
continuing back on normal subjects.
No, I'm not gonna
which
sign
none of
that
these
hoodie.
subjects are but yeah, I mean, that was one of the. We were talking about content creation a little bit, and I feel like that's a good thing to talk about with the current crew that's here. And one of the things that really, both Lane and Brain Exploder have touched on is, Lane and Brain in the morning. Yeah, so.
I
So
like
one
it.
things,
We
one
just
things
need
that
the
both of them
soundboard
have
now.
touched on is
Less soundboard.
That board.
having
Go, Eric.
having the passion for what you want to make is super important. Like finding the type of content that you enjoy making. If you're gonna make YouTube videos, like it's so obvious when someone just makes things as a product, you know?
Yeah.
when it's just one big advertisement.
Yeah. You know, for hoodies and shit.
Shut up.
Exactly.
VPNs for the first friggin' 2 minutes of the video.
Speaking of which,
This
if you want to
video
get
is brought to you by
if you want to get a
VPN.
Task Force
Shut up,
Keg
Ian.
T-shirt. No, you're
But that
100%
was-
right. I
But
can
that was a
definitely.
big part of why like Gun Gamers started the way it did, because literally like the whole concept behind Gun Gamers was, oh, I just want to make videos with my dumb friends. This will be great. Let's just get drunk and make videos.
But I
And-
love that it's evolved into like a project where it's just like spreading halfway useful knowledge throughout the airsoft community.
No, it doesn't. That's way too much credit.
That is way too much credit. Fuck you, Eric. Your channel's stupid.
It's only informative when it's a Garrett video that's 45 minutes long.
He breaks out like a whiteboard and like some chalk, or in like a fucking he just starts writing down like engineering concepts. Like, Garrett, it's too much. Jesus Christ, man, you lost me after 3 minutes. Fuck.
I just fast forward through those segments and I just put over them math not even once.
Nice.
All tutorial videos are to be watched at 1.5 to 2 times speed on YouTube if you're actually trying to get anything done.
Dude, you know
that
what's
day.
fucking crazy? That people will actively watch like podcasts at like 1.5% speed to get through quicker. I'm like, how do you do that, dude? That's mind blowing. I need normal voices. If I hear like Nightcore playing in my head for like a solid 35 minutes, I'm gonna fucking shoot myself. It's
You mean you
ridiculous.
don't like sped up chipmunk voices?
No, I can't say I do.
Hey man, welcome to the podcast. Let's go.
Maybe I'll just start speaking really slowly so that if people try to watch my videos at
Yeah.
1.5 or 2 times speed, it sounds normal.
No, yeah, exactly.
Big brain
And no one will
plays
be able
there.
to tell the difference because of your deep, velvety voice.
Oh, yes.
But
Welcome to today's Gun Gamers video.
all right, all right. Take about 80% off that, Eric. But you're 100% right about being able to tell when somebody's like making a product versus an actual video that they want to make. Like, it's. I've seen a number of different airsoft content creators where it's got like video after video after video where it just becomes the same fucking video again and again and again and again. Where it's like, hey, I'm at this field with my souped up gun and I'm pub stomping for fucking, the next 15 minutes, or excuse me, 10 minutes and 2 seconds of gameplay for those solid 3 ads. And here's my kill counter in the bottom. Here's my hit markers. And here's the sponsorship of the gun company that I'm using my guns from. And then you see that like 4 times in a row. And then it's like, all right, I got this cool new gun from the people I'm sponsored from, or it's this different field. And it's like, all right, that's cool to watch the gameplay of for like 4 videos, and it's kind of old. That's why, like, I hate to toot your horn, Brain, but like,
It's okay.
I fucking.
Oh, oh.
But honest to
Dude.
God, I can't really think of any other like YouTuber who puts as much work into his videos as you do. Because I've fucking like Les has told me, it takes you 3 or 4 days to edit those videos, and you can really see it in like the the finished product. It's great to watch, honestly.
Yeah, the POV stuff, it comes off as one way, but the work to get it there, it's just like hours and hours of rendering and stabilizing and tracking and all that stuff. But as long as the end result is good, I'd rather have one video that's good than 5 videos that are like, you just got them done so you could post twice a week or whatever nonsense schedule he made up for himself. So that's kind of my goal, is quality over quantity, I guess.
Video schedules are the worst. I've been so well known for keeping a consistent video schedule myself. But it really is just that. Like, you don't want to pump out shit that you're not proud of.
Yeah, plus I don't understand the need for a schedule. Everything's digitally available on demand for the rest of human existence. Like, what's the rush to get 2 videos out per week? Maybe in that week it's important, but past that, it's sort of, if it exists or if it doesn't exist, it's the only thing that matters. And then anyone can watch it whenever, as many times as they want. It's like the whole schedule thing is another leftover from 1950s TV, where you had to come in, it had to be on schedule. It's the only time you're going to get to watch it, so schedules were important. Now it's all on demand. Who cares about schedules?
You've got the whole of human knowledge on the fucking internet, and like,
Yeah.
Granted, the YouTube algorithm definitely is like big on those schedules. Like,
Yeah.
the YouTube algorithm really, really wants you to, and it's Instagram too is the same way. Like, I can't keep up with Instagram anymore now that everyone is spam fucking me with like 3 or 4 posts a day, trying to be like, keep me at the top, algorithm. Oh God.
Gotta stay relevant.
Yeah. I gave up on Instagram. Just like enjoying quarantine, a little break from social media.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess if you want to do this as a job and like really boost those numbers up as high as you possibly can, consistency is important. But
Yeah, of course.
then again, I look at some channels that upload super inconsistently that have pretty big numbers. And I'm like, it also probably depends on what kind of audience you cultivate.
Definitely. Yeah,
it comes
that
down to the
everyone
content
always
you
tells
create,
you that.
yeah.
You have to be consistent, have a schedule. But then you see some channels, they upload like 3 times a year, and they're just blowing that out of the water. So it's like, what happened there? Do they have some special agreement with YouTube, or none of this stuff really matters, and it's just, does it capture the attention of the audience, sort of? I think they want you to upload, obviously, because it's good for them. Because if everyone's always putting out content,
yeah.
then they always have fresh stuff to present to the audience, and then people come back to the platform. Versus if they say, we pretty much got everything covered. Nobody ever upload anything again, because there's a billion videos people could look through from the past, 13 years of YouTube. That wouldn't be good for business. So of course they want to encourage constant new media coming in.
Yeah.
Truth.
Yeah, well, I think it matters, if you make a better video that people enjoy and they're going to watch more of that video, I think that your channel can make less content, because YouTube would rather promote a video that gets, 70% of the video watched than someone that posts every day and only they get like 15% of their video watched. So just being able to like tell a story and hold on to people, I think that's something that YouTube really likes, because the longer you watch the videos, the more money they're going to make. So I think that that's why they promote some of those channels that make less content.
Oh, for
Yeah,
sure.
you have to look at everything from a business standpoint for YouTube. For them, it's time on the platform. That's all they care about, because when you're on
More
there,
impressions for
they're
ads.
pushing ads to you the
Yep.
second you're gone. That's why they don't even like external links that much, because if you click on something on Amazon, now you're on Amazon for 3 hours looking for some weird thing instead of watching more YouTube videos. So the more your stuff keeps them watching YouTube, to them you're more beneficial to the platform, and that's what they're gonna push forward, because that benefits them. It makes sense. You can't fault them for that either. That's just good business practice.
Yeah, it's a smart business choice.
Yeah, it's what everybody would do if they were trying to grow their own personal business.
Oh yeah.
Get people on the site or on the whatever in the store.
I mean, I think the important part of content creation, as far as the longevity perspective, is just like creating videos that you like to create versus just, pushing out garbage. I think that's definitely reflected in the actual quality of the video itself as well.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm gonna be like brutally honest to a very dear friend of mine right now, Lane. Like when you watch some of your older videos,
Oh, they're bad. I know.
There's a point in your channel where you can tell you actually like enjoyed working on it again.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Like,
you can absolutely tell. And
like,
I think that's
very obvious.
It's something that translates very obviously into the amount of effort that's put into it, and that's why I figured that I'd rather take a break, because I knew that working on projects that I didn't like would ruin the ones that I did in a way. Like if I just made a bunch of videos that I didn't enjoy for whatever reason, I was just thought, oh, maybe they'll help me grow, maybe I'll make more money off them. I knew that I wouldn't have that level of excitement for the videos I do want to do. And now that I've taken a little bit of a hiatus and kind of slowed down on it, there's some videos that like now I'm really excited to work on. And I think that shows more when that's more of what you're doing.
I can only really touch on that a little bit, and that's because I've done like fucking one video for the Gun Gamers channel, but it was like kind of a passion project for me. But those are like a very
Bad Company 2 passion
Bad
project.
Company. Well, Bad Company 2 is the greatest video game ever created, and if you don't think
Of
so, you can
course,
just
yeah.
go right ahead and fuck yourself. But
This is true.
but there's
It
like
also
a
has the
distinct-
greatest picture ever in it.
Oh, the one where you and I are on the air mattress shirtless? Yeah, that was great. But there's like a distinct line in that video where you can tell, like, fuck, dude, I just got tired of editing this video. Like, I need to go to bed. It's been like 13 hours at this goddamn computer. By the way, I do plan on doing more videos in that series, like Medal of Honor Warfighter and Generation Zero, but writing scripts takes a while, and I'm bored and doing other shit, like playing Star Citizen or Star Wars Battlefront. But yeah, no, I mean, you got to enjoy what you create, otherwise you're going to get burnt out and just push out fucking garbage.
Well, and that's why I kind of encourage a lot of people like to experiment with even different formats and like do different things for the channel. Like that was a huge part of, I mean, I haven't made one of these in forever, but that's a huge part of why like the Tactical Wizard is my favorite series to work on, because it's such a ludicrous, ridiculous concept, and I just totally strip away any sense of decency or integrity, and I just play this dumb character in these bizarre scripts. I'm just like, this is fucking awesome. This is totally different from what I do all the time ever.
Like when
and then I get what?
I was going to say, like when the Tactical Wizard DM'd Becca asking to eat macaroni off her naked body.
Seems
Yeah.
like a good episode.
It was good.
Oh my god, that's the loadout picture one, which is my that's my one-eyed man, the loadout picture episode. That is the best episode of the Tactical Wizard, or one-armed man, whatever you want to call it. That's the thing I'm trying to beat. That is the best episode of the Tactical Wizard, and I've been trying to top it ever since. But yeah, but that's a good example of like, even when like you've got something that you really like doing, like there's more that you want to do with it. It becomes obvious when you really, really give a shit about making something, because the level of effort of that thing compared to like what you do with everything else is so reflective. Like, I don't think I put half as much work into any Gun Gamers video, with the exception of like the mid-cap test,
Which is
that
still
I
the most
regularly-
successful video. Minus,
Yeah,
like,
I mean
the high
that's
cap
by
one,
far
but,
the video I'm most proud of in like informative sense. But that video even is like the only video that competes with any of the Tactical Wizard episodes in terms of total work put in.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. I mean, I think Garrett might top that with his ridiculously extensive fucking, like, BB, like, consistency review. But, no, dude, it's, like, the amount of work you put into that was fucking ridiculous. I'm excited
Yeah,
to see...
That project is so stupid.
It's good that it actually has a lot of views, because the worst is when you crank out something that you're super proud of and no one gives a crap and it just dies. And you're
Yeah.
like, oh, what's wrong with you people?
Like
and then you
the
put out
video
some turd
documenting
and
the,
they're like, oh, I like it.
Carbon
Forget it. You
fiber.
have no opinion. Oh, yeah. God, that was like the world's longest project that has like 2,000 views currently.
I've got like 2,200 views on that fucking Bad Company video. I'm like, I worked so hard. I recorded so much gameplay. No.
You could be like me, who just dumps raw footage onto the internet and just says fuck it and still gets views.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I might as just not give a fuck and just start dumping shit onto the internet.
I was actually
or
like
re-uploading podcasts.
I was a
I like
little annoyed recently because that video I did on whether or not you need a secondary for airsoft, like that was such like a spur of the moment. Oh, I guess I'll make a video on this type of thing, and now it's like the most successful video I've made in like a year, and I'm like, God damn it, really?
Sometimes shit like that just hits, man. Like, I expected our audience to be like, yeah, dude, Bad Company too. And I start getting comments just like, no, you fucking moron. Battlefield 4 is clearly the best one that's ever released. I'm like, well, I'm talking to an audience of morons. Okay.
There's no hope.
There's no hope for these people.
Disown.
If you're watching this, yes, I'm talking about you.
They probably play Fortnite, so it's
Oh.
okay.
Yeah.
Dang. Fortnite's still going strong, or is that dead?
Oh,
Or
it's
is it
super
good?
strong, dude. It's super strong.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because PUBG's dead. This is news now.
Well, PUBG killed itself, so
Yeah.
Bad devs.
Yeah. Well, I think the player base also killed itself, especially after watching those highlight videos of you, Les, just running fucking Mark
Ah,
over with, like,
oof.
Humvees and stuff.
That's all I do. That's what I'm best at. The only kills I ever get are just TKing my own team, so it's good. Especially Mark. Always gets run over.
Oh, my God. So,
And then
do you guys have anything else regarding content creation?
I got one for you guys.
Shoot.
If someone was going to start their own content, what would be your best piece of advice?
Create something that you're proud of rather than what you think is going to get views.
Yeah.
Because if
Yeah,
you create content, you have, like, a confidence about what you create, the views will come naturally.
I think that's the best advice. That's also what I would give is just like do what you want to do. But I have a second best piece of advice, and this was like the huge part about gun gamers. Try as hard as possible not to do it totally by yourself. Because it turns out being like a one-man show, like whether it be, you know, just going to the field by yourself, even if you're just playing airsoft with your friends, that's your way of getting your friends involved in whatever you want to do. And then you edit that video and it's like, oh, I've got these funny moments with my friends on camera. But if you can make it like kind of a group project, for me at least, and maybe people like me, I much, much prefer that my projects be things that I can collaborate with people on, because I'm fucking awful at keeping myself motivated. Like, I need a workout partner to go to the gym. Like, I work out with my brother multiple days a week because he's like the only person who can keep me motivated. I can't do it by myself.
Well, that's one of the things I've kind of noticed that's fucking great about this group, because, like, contrary to what most of the audience probably believes, there's, like, fucking 35 of us. There's not, like, 6 dudes who just hang out together and make videos. There's, like, 35 of us in, like, a group chat, and it turns into a fucking cluster. Kaylee can tell you, Link can tell you, Eric can tell you.
I pretty much put it on mute at this point. Because
Oh, you have to. You have to.
You have
I
to.
can't keep up anymore.
But sometimes there's
Yeah.
like the real bangers, and we got to tag everybody for the shitpost session.
Oh, yeah. Oh, exactly. But you...
Well,
one
but
of the-
it's also like you guys are so far ahead. Like, 'cause most people are on the East Coast, so I'm like just laying down to go to bed at 6 in the morning, and the things just keeps dinging and dinging and dinging and dinging. I'm like, what the hell is going on?
Well, we got, like,
The
35
freaking gun
people in that
gamers chat always.
But, like, when you have
God
that many
damn.
people, someone's bound to have a good idea. So it's super easy to come up with something, like, just off the spot. Like, hey, what should I do for a video? It's just like, oh, you know, fucking Lutz just came up with a great idea for a video or something like that.
Yeah, or
It's
like
also-
our idea
Yeah, or like our idea. What's
with
our...
Matt.
Oh, but yeah, like
Hey.
our idea with Matt Hay. Exactly. Just a fucking banger, dude. I don't want to announce that on the podcast because
too
it's probably
X-rated.
not family friendly. And I
many
do have this
children to
monetized,
hear.
and I want my fucking case of beer from Eric at the end of the month for this ad revenue.
That's
But
right. Everybody donate. It's
Yeah.
good.
everybody
Oh, yeah.
donate. It's good
What the heck?
stuff.
Don't we have some
Um,
sound bites that come up or something if they donate? Some
What about
exciting
what about-
chimes?
what about you guys, Brain Exploder and Lane? What do you? Well, Brain and Lane. That's what we settled on. What do you guys say about biggest pieces of advice for content creators?
Well, I agree with you guys. It's something you have to be passionate about, also knowledgeable, because nothing worse than somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're talking about trying to make any kind of video tutorial or just general talk. So it has to be something you'd wanna, I don't know, something you'd wanna know maybe that you can't find out there. It's always filling a niche too. That's kind of how everything I've done is developed. It's like, oh, there's no review on this, but if you see something there's a million of, probably don't need to make a video about it. But if you see you've been searching for something and maybe you found a piece here, somewhere in the forum, then if you just go and compile that information to a video for somebody, there'll be plenty of people that were searching for it just like you were, that is now available all in one place. So it's just filling in gaps and again being passionate and knowledgeable about it. They'll create for good content.
And don't forget the knowledgeable part.
Yeah, that's useful if you're gonna act as if you know what you're talking about.
What about you, Lane? What do you got?
I'm going to say the best piece of advice is don't try to mimic someone else's channel when you first start, and really know the value that you want to present. So if you're presenting something that no one's covered before, make sure that you know kind of where you're going with your videos. But I see a lot of people that'll be like, I want to be like X YouTuber, or I want to make like airsoft sniping videos. And I think that it's one of those things that's like really overdone here on YouTube. So what makes your content different, and what would make someone want to watch what you're doing over someone else's? Because if you're just starting out, your content probably isn't as good as theirs in most cases. So I'd say really just be original and do something that you enjoy and have fun with it. It's not your job. It's something that you're doing because you want it to. You're doing this for your own enjoyment. So make sure that it doesn't kind of like take over your life, I guess you could say. But I did find it interesting what you said about working with a group of people, Eric and Ian, because doing this by myself sucks. And that's one of the things that I have tried to incorporate is that there are other people that I want to bring in to making videos with me, because I think that'll kind of renew my interest in it, and as well it gives me more capabilities. Because if I want to go, like if I needed a shot of like someone like walking tactically through a building or out in the woods, it's hard to do that by yourself, but if you have multiple people, there's just more that you can do with your videos.
Yeah, man, I feel you. I'm jealous of you guys with all your 500 members. That even for simple stuff like Lane was saying, just someone to third person record you doing something or hands free. It's always like you got to set up a tripod and make sure you're in the frame, and then you're like back and forth. You do a test recording. Okay, it's recording. It takes like 20 minutes to record some stupid little thing. Just for that alone, having the crew would be so much more beneficial and easier.
We just
Need
have
crew.
a super low bar for entry. It's just like, hey, are you cool?
If you come get drunk
you
with
like
us
to
and
drink?
we,
Yeah, exactly.
See, that's why I can't get
I
in.
mean, I'm in the
That's
group,
about
so
it.
the bar is.
Oh,
really
come on.
low.
Oh yeah.
And I always find it really funny when I do film videos with Eric, because I think with the exception of maybe one time, there's been like 2 or 3 of us that are in the video, and then like 5 of us behind the camera hurling insults at each other.
Oh yeah. There have been so many shoots I've been like, not even somebody's following. But I've had so many fucking like video shoots that I've been at with Eric where it's just like you got Eric and like maybe Corey, in front of the camera, and it's like 6 of us in the background just getting hammered at his house, and it's the best. And then Capucci just puking in the bathroom.
I think the best part of Gun Gamers lore are all the videos that we haven't been able to use because we're all too hammered.
One thing people don't realize about the channel is that there's like 30 or 40 videos have never been uploaded or edited, because like you start editing it like the next day and you're like, oh fuck, dude, I was trashed last night.
Yeah, I don't remember filming this.
Oh my god, I was gonna do a Recoil Shock review, and this was like fucking what, Eric? Like mid 2018, early 2018. This is like 2 years ago, dude. And
yeah, it was a while.
It was a while ago, but we looked at the footage afterwards and we're like, oh fuck, we can't use this. We were so drunk. Corey's getting belligerent. Oh fuck, I need to do that review at some point with like Dan or something, because I've wanted to do that, and there's no US based YouTubers who've done a Recoil Shock review.
Really? How's that possible?
Because Recoil Shocks are terrible, according to Kaylee.
Yeah, they're literally the worst gun in airsoft, and they should be exterminated.
Why is this such a
Hitman M4 exists, so I'll argue with you.
I don't know. I just think like it's an overpriced, gimmicky piece of garbage, and you can get an actual good airsoft gun for a fifth of the price and be fun. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't see the whole gimmick of the recoil and all the nonsense.
Because it's fun, and you should stop complaining about the price, you fucking poor.
Is it though? Is it fun? I mean, it's airsoft. We're already playing with toy guns. Why does it have to mimic like real, like whatever?
Sorry, I can't hear you over. What was that, T-Pain? Can you repeat that?
I hate TM recoil shot.
Dang. Radio, the new track.
Is that good?
Lady, can you clip that, please? Thank you.
The chorus is fire.
Oh, I am losing like the whole stream right now. So.
But you're gaining a whole new career in music.
Yeah, I mean,
That's
talk
right.
about another place where the barrier to entry is low. Clearly, you could have a music career.
I could, yeah.
What would your mumble rap name be?
That's it. That's the name.
Mumble rap?
No, it's just
Oh.
yeah.
I was gonna
So
say
long.
it's gonna be one of your Steam names that we talk about a lot.
Gotta be DJ Soundboard.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, it would definitely be one of my Steam names that nobody should look up ever.
Please look up her Steam name history.
Do not.
Yeah, her Steam name history so good. It reflects the name Les Trooper, which does not stand for
Yeah.
Leslie, if you were wondering.
It's not for people under the age of 35
32.
because it is way too mature.
Not safe for life.
No,
Yeah.
it's NSFL, man. It's not good.
After you see that, you gotta burn your eyes out. So.
One thing I am super excited in the recoil, in sort of like the whole electric blowback industry or gimmick rather, is to see how the LCT electric recoil guns work. Because I've heard really, really good things about it.
They look really cool. They look shaky, man. It looks violent, but that's what we're looking for. So that's
Exactly.
good.
It's like a Daytona gun, except, not
Works.
trash.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, because I know you've had the
Or like
Daytona FAL, right?
Or like a Titman, except
Yeah.
not blow forward in trash.
Oh, God.
Forward recoil.
I mean, they all belong in a dumpster, in my opinion. So.
Well,
Oh.
it depends what you're looking for from airsoft. If you're looking for function over anything else, then you get a HPA, whatever, burping gun that makes no movement, no nothing. It just shoots the BB everywhere at the same time.
You don't
But
have
if
any
you try-
sights on it. You have a tracer unit. You're shooting 50 RPS. It's a combat machine that doesn't have a stock on it. Exactly.
Yeah, you're just trying to exterminate the whole field. But if you're trying to have like simulation, then you could get into recoil and bolt stops and 30 round
kinda-
mags, whatever nonsense you
I
want to
kind
do.
of feel like gas blowback
Chris.
is the pinnacle of those types of things to the point
the
where
ultimate LARP gun.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
I'm not here to kill anyone.
No,
I'm
no,
here
no,
just
no,
to
no, no.
pretend I'm
The
shooting at
ultimate
people.
LARP gun is blank fire, dude. Blank
Oh,
fire at MSW
yeah, that-
events. Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
blank
That's
fire is the
expensive,
ultimate.
too.
one.
At this
So-
point, I'm planning on getting like 2 of those full auto blank fire Uzis for MSW and just rocking like a cartel member in the 80s. Oh, I'm so excited.
Need
Oh
that
my-
blank fire lever,
I'm
dude.
gonna have like fucking like flour all over my face as I'm dressed up like fucking fake Coke, just blasting people. I'm so excited.
Fake Coke. What are you, a coward?
You
No,
have to
I
blast
have
them
a
with
sec-
real coke.
no,
dog.
Eric. I have a security clearance. Thank you. Shut up.
These are jokes, government.
Yeah, for legal reasons, that's a joke.
For legal reasons, that's a joke. Okay. But yeah, moving on. I mean, like, I think that the most usable gas blowback platform is gonna be something like an MWS and maybe some of the GHK
Kappa.
stuff. High Kappa, yeah, sure, I guess. Like a, but if
Oh,
you're talking
high
about like a
cap
rifle,
is always
I think
reliable.
indoors you could use
Really,
gas. pretty
FNX
effective.
45 has I like that better than any high kappa.
don't tell that to
I
Kaylee
feel
because she's gonna tell you
Really?
wrong. Yeah.
No, you
I
need
mean,
you need to use the FNX 45 before like evaluating my opinion so harshly. It really
No, I
out of
mean-
the box. It's such a great platform.
I believe because it's a TM, right?
Probably a
Yes,
high cap
this
in a
is-
different body.
Yeah.
essentially.
I mean, it's TM, so you know you're gonna get a quality, like you're gonna get quality material in
Yeah.
in the gun. But the high kappa platform, I feel like is just on its own level because there's just so much aftermarket availability of parts for it. You can literally make like any freaking gun that you want out of it. Like you can have it do, different kinds of things. You want it to shoot single fire, you want it to shoot full auto, like you can do that. Like you want crazy designs, you want it to look like a sleeper, you want to throw it into a
It does
freaking
have
carbine
that
kit. It's
ridiculous
insane.
aftermarket support that is hard to match.
Yeah, like that. That's the
I
only
was
reason I think it's a
evaluating it
good
only
gun.
as a secondary, but when you
Yeah.
put it in those terms of weird space gun bullshit, then yes, the high Kappa is much better at all of that.
Well, I am an expert at weird space gun bullshit, so that's how my scale values airsoft guns. But yeah, I know I've seen your video on it, and it looks like it's a decent pistol. I've never shot it myself, but it seems good. So it's
Take
TM.
my word
I mean,
for
what are you
it.
gonna
I'm
do?
the ultimate authority.
Yeah, that video is the only truth on the matter. That's all you should believe.
Oh man. That is the worst though about doing reviews though, is when people like try to call you out because you didn't have a problem that they had or something, or because you like something they dislike or you dislike something they like. And I'm like, man, I can only review the one I got, man. I can't just say, oh well, this guy had a problem, so I have to alter my opinion of mine as a result of that.
Well, it's this beautiful
that's
thing
me.
called thinking for yourself rather
Ah.
than, just taking someone's opinion as the fucking word of Christ alive. Like, no.
The SX23 is bad, and you should change your review to reflect that. also your review of the Scorpion Evo, also bad gun.
Listen,
Well,
just
that's
because
just
you
you.
have terrible experience with guns, or terrible...
Because you took it out in the
terrible luck,
rain. What do you
rather.
expect?
The Evo video is actually funny because you're saying that we should change our video to say that it's bad, whereas a lot of people watching that video who love the Evo thought that we were shitting on it. So
No, you guys, you give a fair opinion about it. Like Mark said, I took mine out in the rain, so I did sort of murder it. But people on the freaking Evo forum swear, they're like, "Oh, you don't need to like put a bag on it. You don't need to worry. It's waterproof. It's so good." Well, didn't seem to work in the California rain.
Up my
So
Lancer testicles survived.
Yeah.
So there you go. Who's laughing now?
Well, I think the big problem that you run into with that is that there's so many people who are just like sentimentally attached to their purchases because they purchased it and they feel like they have to be correct on what they bought. So like,
yeah.
just because we had, inherent issues with our Evo, people be like, how dare you? Your opinion is reprehensible of talking about the Evo.
yeah, you get the jowls moving. And the
Got the
spittle
jowls,
going.
it's some 40, it's some like mid-30s dude with just this enormous neck beard, and he's like, listen,
Don't do me like that. Don't insult me like that.
Listen, Eric, you're a beautiful man, but I'm talking about your average sweaty neck beard and his gray sweatpants and his Task Force Keg fucking shirt. By the way, currently available on TF Keg Supply Shop on Spreadshirt. Anyway,
Jesus Christ.
but exactly, you got
You're
one
like
too, Kaylee.
Jake Paul.
More
with the
ads here than
stupid merch plugs.
But
Where's
but
my ad
honest to
blocker
God,
when you need it?
people are way too fucking attached to the actual like product that they buy just because they spent money on it and they can't like.
But the opposite is true too. People are also super defensive and attached to their negative opinions of products.
Oh, 100%. Like there's so many people who are just vehemently against Lancer Tactical as a whole, even though they have some pretty solid starter products. To be 100% honest, like sure they did one shitty thing like some point in the past, but they've got a lot of really
People
good
still
starter
give Lion
products.
Claws money, so by that standard, Lancer Tactical.
Fuck.
Black
No,
Claw's
you-
good.
You're 100% right. Like it's infuriating, man, because it kind of makes it impossible to make everybody happy with a review. Although I'm not the kind of guy who does reviews. Like, I don't know.
What's funny how some products can change over time. Like with Lancer Tactical, their guns have definitely gotten better over the years.
Oh yeah.
But there's people that have gotten worse, like Classic Army, and there's surprisingly still people out there that will defend Classic Army. But it's interesting how people take these opinions from years ago and they still just hold on to it. And then there's those people like our Airsoft who just hates Crytags even though they're good guns. It's just those people that are like
Dude,
sold on their opinion.
The Reddit Airsoft forum is fucking atrocious.
Cancer?
And then you go into like Airsoft Circle Jerk and it's even worse.
The real airsoft Reddit
Dude.
subreddit.
Listen,
One
all
is
of
just
them,
cancer
all of
and
them
one is
could
acid.
burn to the ground, and I would have zero complaints whatsoever because it's fucking awful. Just that, like, there's a lot of really,
Well,
really
'cause
good knowledge shared
the
there.
thing is, it's like any other group or forum. Like, I mean, any group is like this. Even our own. Like, there's groupthink that becomes predominant,
Yeah.
and then people like want to fit in with the group, so they kind of adopt these groupthink opinions, and then those become the memes, and then that becomes the culture. So, like, it's with that anywhere, whether it's r/airsoft or whether it's the Gun Gamers discussion group. Like, it could be anywhere that type of stuff happens, and it is an inherent weakness of when humans get together to do anything.
Well, it's
Well,
the only
easier.
difference there is that our opinions are correct and everyone else's are stupid.
according to the glorious standard that is us all the time forever.
Oh, 100%. Like we all know that White Claws is the correct beverage to be consuming prior to, going to an MSW event. There's just so many correct opinions that we have that everyone else thinks is wrong, and that's because you're dumb. But on
Yeah.
a serious note, like, it's kind of mind-boggling to see the groupthink that does kind of, pop up in places like r/airsoft. Like Lane, you were saying, they fucking hate Crytax, but then they're gonna jump on the dick of, I don't know.
Classic Army has been rated pretty highly on some of those charts
Yeah.
r/airsoft produces.
Yeah, they
and I
really
always
do
find
like
that
Classic
pretty
Army.
suspicious. I'm like, how much recent experience with Classic Army do some of these people have?
I've had some pretty bad luck in the past with ICS, and they really, really like. And don't get me wrong, I've heard great things about ICS from other groups, but like, based off of my personal opinion and like a couple of other people I've talked to, especially like talking about the ICS MP5s, not particularly great. So I kind of got
They're
fucked out of-
bad.
Yeah,
Well, what's
no,
funny
I
is
spent
that
money
we're
because
doing,
of r/airsoft.
but even with all this though, we're doing the same thing that we're complaining about people doing, like on our review videos though. Like, we've had terrible experiences with all this stuff, so now we're evaluating the worth of a group based on their other opinions on this. So it's one of those weird things you're going to run into that's like so inherent to any of this type of discourse, which is why I'm always so like data driven with stuff. Like, when you present an opinion, the best way to present your opinion is that you need to say, here's the experience I've had in as much totality as possible, and you can work backwards based on that to see where my opinion came from. And then people can evaluate how your opinion was constructed and decide whether or not that's applicable to them.
No,
When you
you're
said the word
100%
data, I thought you were going to turn into a Garrett video, and I got scared.
Just one last thing to shit on r/airsoft. But if you want,
Oh my god.
I'm just fucking around. But no. Anyway, moving on. It's probably a good time to start asking or like looking for some questions from chat, just
I
to
mean,
kind
we've
of
been
spice it up a
streaming
little bit. It's
we've
only been like an
streaming for
hour and 20 minutes.
20 minutes, which
Yeah.
is short by our podcast standards, but some of these go on like way too long.
Oh yeah.
Over 2 hours.
Does anyone have any
long
good questions for our guests? Because we always give our dumb opinions.
Now we wait.
I got a good question.
Now
What's your favorite fat percentage of milk, Lane?
I don't drink milk, contrary to popular belief.
Is it a popular belief?
To some people.
A lot of milk talk. The internet's on fire.
I really hope that Chris is watching this.
Nah,
Oh,
dude.
no.
Nah, dude. You go into Lane's comment section. It's just like, yo, that's a whole milk type of boy.
We got
Three
2
Cs.
questions. We
Uh,
got one question from Michael. He said, "Brain, will you marry me?"
He has a wife and a kid. I don't know why he's trying to marry me.
Well, we have a legit.
Just trying to sell me
question
some
from,
life insurance, man.
Yeah.
This is a scam.
What's the next product that you're working on, Brain? And
I just
When's
got
it
my
dropping?
samples from Shapeways for the new Hero 8 hat and Boonie hat mounts. So I'm going to be putting those up in the next week or so, and then a video to follow shortly after that. So people have been asking for the new 8 mounts because it's different. They've changed the shape and the way it kind of, there's no case anymore. So had to redesign a little bit. I think it's a better mounting system, at least easier and quicker, and smaller, so it should be a little bit more affordable as well. So those two are coming next, and that's going to be a big item for the community. I think for me as well, because that still my most popular stuff is GoPro mounts. Even years later, even though I have like, I don't know, 40 or so many products, it's like the first like 3-4 things I made out of the popular ones, because there was a need for them and there's still a need for them now. So that's coming. Stay tuned. I'll post about it on all the social medias and stuff.
Ooh.
Someone asked a question. He said, "Have you ever seen a night vision goggle get shot out, or did it even to happen to you by chance?"
That happened to me with Mark's night vision on my head.
You got a shot out.
That was pretty spooky. Well, it didn't get. Luckily, I think I was letting someone borrow my. That was that day. I was letting someone borrow my night vision. So, Mark let me borrow his PVS 7, and so I took my. Or I think you gave me your sacrificial lens, or I used my sacrificial lens, but I had a sacrificial lens on it, and as I was playing, I'm, just doing whatever, and all of a sudden, I feel like the night vision gets hit, but nothing really changes on, through the tube. So I was like, oh, okay, I guess. Yeah, everything was fine, but the whole sacrificial lens just got completely demolished, and yeah, if that thing wasn't there, that tube would have
really
been
lived up to
done.
its name.
Yeah, it gave the ultimate sacrifice.
You say
Well,
that?
the way I view it is, if you can afford at least $1,000 or $2,000 for a night vision setup, you can afford $30 for a protective lens.
You can also spend a
$10
couple
on
hundred.
Amazon.
You can also spend
You
a
can
couple
buy them on
hundred.
Amazon for like $5.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna say you could also spend a couple $100 on a iSafe laser, which anyone getting into the Nods game should buy.
Yeah.
No. Wait, why would you do that?
Why would you spend money on an iSafe laser? What are you having?
You're not
mercy
pointing
on
at yourself.
Whores?
Yeah.
Ian, you signed a waiver. What's the problem?
Exactly.
People
No,
can-
dude, I'm
can
just gonna
pay for their own
aim
vision
for
and
their
nonsense.
chest, man. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Their
But
chest, which also looks like their face.
on a serious note, I have
Just
seen.
face.
I was at a 10th Mountain up at Fort Drum. 10th Mountain Division has like a little museum in their headquarters for like division headquarters of like cool shit that's been brought back. Like there was a knife that was like used to stab some guy. That sounds really bad, but it's like glorious.
Yeah, out
in
of
battle.
context, that doesn't sound cool. That
It doesn't
sounds
sound
like
cool,
evidence.
But it was like something like some glorious like hand-to-hand combat thing that happened that earned some dude a Medal of Honor. There was also a PVS 7 that had the entire front of the housing shot out, and like the description was, this was hit with a 7.62 by 25 Tokarev, and it stopped the fucking round.
What?
Oh
Well,
yeah,
that's pretty badass.
dude, it went straight through like the front
I've
of
seen
it.
Say with Private Ryan. That's not how optics work.
Nah, dude, like
Just
I
throw
can
the
only
thing
imagine.
into the eyeball and kills the sniper.
Exactly.
Well, PVS-7 those splits. It must have hit that little beam where it splits.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it got cut by the mirror.
See, if you dual tubes, you'd be dead.
That dude was like he was counting his fucking lucky charms, man. Oh my god, I would have been just crying after that. Holy fuck. But yeah, no, if you own Nods, buy a sacrificial lens because that shit's expensive. Like,
All right, we got some more good stuff in the chat.
Yeah, there's a couple more good
Yeah,
questions.
Airlocks just says, Lane, I want to see more Top Series videos.
He
They
also
will
said,
come.
what's the future for the channel for Lane?
Yeah, there you go. That's a good other one.
Future for the channel. I've got 2 videos I'm working on right now. One is a sponsored review. The other one is a new series. Well, kind of new. I did 1 video of it a while ago, and then for some reason I got super busy and never made more. So that's something that I'm really excited about. I've got 1 video that's already filmed for it. I filmed 2 with Eric a couple months ago, and I'm kind of hoping to use that as something because I really enjoy talking about airsoft guns and the way that I personally use them and kind of the way that my friends use them. And I think that'd be a great way for just to kind of do some collaboration as well. But for new things, there's, it's a little limited right now because of everything that's going on in the world. I can't go and play airsoft, so I'm kind of getting creative in that sense. And I'm working on bringing other people into the production of my videos. That'll happen when it happens. That's something that's a very personal thing to me, going from creating it by myself for 5 years, going to bringing other people in on this is an interesting experience emotionally. But there is new stuff coming. There will be top 5s as well, but I wanted to finish out my degree strong, so that was kind of, that was on the main burner.
I can appreciate that.
That's why I started Gun Gamers after I graduated. I didn't have to worry about any of that bullshit.
Brian, do you have anything coming down the pipeline that's gonna be cool for people to watch?
I have a couple ideas. I'm just not sure how big the market is for them. One thing I want to do is I keep seeing all these power banks attached to sides of guns, which drives me nuts because I can't stand batteries outside of guns. It's like my
Best.
airsoft pet
It
peeve.
triggers me.
When someone
Yeah.
just like tapes a battery and like, man, there's wires everywhere. It's like, Argh! So I want to do like how to hide your batteries, either for like cameras or for powering your gun. There's so many creative ways to do it, and people always just take like the duct tape
Electrical
route.
tape it or zip ties.
Yeah, and so I was thinking something like that, but I'm like, is this too specific? And no one's gonna care about that. They're like, I don't record, I don't care. So that's one of the ideas I'm bouncing around in my head, and I'm hoping we could go play, even if it's just like all gas masks and whatever. And but I got a
Hell
couple
yeah.
of things I'm building that I'm itching to try out once the things ease up a little bit more and no one dies.
So, someone also asked, Eric, do you and your visually challenged friends buy anything special for eye protection so you can still see?
That's the funny part is people ask me this question all the time because I normally wear glasses, but I just go without for airsoft. My vision is okay enough that I can function without glasses for the duration of like a Milsim West, but I just wear M frames with a Helo kit. But my buddy Kyle, who, you've all seen on the channel, he's one of the OGs of the group. Kyle is always wearing his glasses for airsoft.
Yeah.
Contacts don't work for him. So he uses ESS goggles. Those are the ones that he's had the most luck with consistently for as long as I've known him, which is over 10 years at this point. So
Yeah, if you want to go with
Yeah,
goggles, because for a while I was running inserts instead of just wearing contacts. ESS turbofans, I'm pretty certain support like an insert, and they'll
They
keep
do.
you from not fogging. There you
Yeah.
go.
They support insert, and they're definitely big enough to fit around glasses. And I use the ESSs, and I fit them around these. And these plastic frames are pretty wide, so even if you have smaller glasses, it's gonna be much easier to fit them in. But I actually brought like a couple of things because I saw someone mention it. But you can get like the regular ESS glasses, even if you don't want to pay like for the goggles, and then you can get these sweet inserts that go
that's
in.
Kyle's most recent
Into
solution.
the
Yeah.
crossbow?
Subscription inserts.
Yeah, and you just change out the
Oh.
little nose bridge, and
Yeah.
this nose bridge goes
Wow.
in, and it just sits right behind the goggle. And I mean, you can't really even notice them that much. And if you have the tinted lenses, you can't see them at all. So
That's a big thing
it's
to Kaylee's.
pretty
Make sure no one
nifty.
knows
Kinda
she's
look cool.
blind.
Yeah,
if you-
well, I think the glasses underneath the goggles is like the stupidest looking thing ever, and it really bothers me when I'm like doing
It's fine,
any
man.
kind of content. It's not fine for
don't-
me, okay?
I
What?
figured I
You
might
don't ever-
mention
you don't-
that.
I get if you run your selfie camera or something, you don't even record yourself. Well, who are you trying to impress?
So-
13
I don't
year olds
like
at
it.
the
I don't
field?
like it in pictures, so
Oh, okay.
I like to have everything tinted out or to
Stop being so vain.
mask it with something like this.
So one thing I
I'm
might mention
vain,
is that
okay?
revision.
Obviously.
Revision actually, if you remember the military, whether it's Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, I'm pretty sure that you guys get issued
Airsoft.
iPro. And if you are airsoft. But
The
again,
ultimate branch of the military.
oh hell yeah, brother! No, if you're
Oh my god.
if you're a
You,
member of the
sir.
military,
We're all brothers in the fight.
iPro, and if you actually wear glasses, the inserts that you get issued for those revision glasses, you can actually put them behind the gaskets and they'll fit no problem. I've had good luck with that. If you wear contacts, if you're just going, for a day at like a local field or something like that, it's no sweat. But if you're actually running at like a MSW event, honest to God, your best bet is either not taking them out of your eyes or bringing a fuckload of hand sanitizer, moist towelettes, and like a little thing of, a little case and some fucking saline solution to fucking clean that shit. Otherwise, you don't want dirt getting all in your eyes and causing an infection. I've seen some really gross stuff happen to people's eyes overseas because of that. But
Or just
hell
eat
yeah.
a lot of carrots and you'll have
I'm
good
just
eyesight.
really
Yeah.
quick going to interrupt
tip.
this. And just say
Plug the shirt
anyone.
again?
Yeah, anyone. No, I'm going to plug an entirely different thing. Anyone who wants to have a
What?
good laugh, go check out Tristan Art and Airsoft on Instagram right now. His most recent post. It's a sight to behold. It's really funny.
Oh wow,
Jesus
we're
Christ.
getting live memed over here or something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Live memes.
It's pretty
from the
great.
meme lord himself.
Everybody looks down to check their phone.
It's
Guys,
really funny.
watch us watching
What
our
is
phones.
happening?
Oh, fucking Jesus Christ.
It's really funny.
That's a sight to
Oh.
behold.
Oh god.
What?
And it's the
Animator.
thing I hate the most. Things with weeb related things in them.
I am not a fan of that format of meme usually, but for some reason there it works. It's so great. I don't know. That was awesome.
Oh, so
It's
gross.
horrible.
I guess Belle Delphausenact.
Yeah.
But someone was asking, y'all are big into milsim and pugs and ranges. How do you guys feel about theme events like Star Wars or zombies? If I could find some Star Wars events that were rolling, oh fuck,
Sounds
dude.
super fun.
Dude, Star Wars for sure, man. I mean, I have my freaking
T-Pain!
blast right here that I built from the. I got my blaster. Freaking-
You sound like
Oh,
Zemos
that
from
baby.
Saints. You sound like Zemos from Saints Row the Third. For anyone who gets that reference.
Oh hell yeah, dog! Hell yeah, dog!
As far as zombie-related
good
events
for you
go,
guys?
they're great as
Perfect.
long as you're not showing up with like a zombie killer green like Crossman fucking M4.
Zombie
Seems
events
like the
Don't
perfect
ruin
time
my
for it,
event.
actually.
zombie events can be really fun, or they could not be really fun.
If you die in
Um,
the first 8 seconds, it's really not fun when you're
No, it's not.
wandering around. You paid money to walk around and chase other people and get
The
shot
thing
at.
is, I actually don't mind being a zombie if there are gun rules that make it so that getting close to other players is viable. Like nothing.
Yeah, some dude with
there
a
was
saw or something.
Yeah, there was an event I went to.
Just dug in on top of a
There
trailer.
was an event I went to last year where the zombie event was the night portion, but people showed up to the night portion zombie event and they were using night vision. They were using PTWs
yeah.
and IR lasers. I'm like, this is not a zombie game. This is not a survival game. This is I have night vision and a PTW and I get to just mow down unarmed people.
Wait, but
like,
this is what we do every single time we go
Yeah,
to
but
zombie
the other
games.
people
So
have.
what are
oh,
you trying to say, Eric?
I'm
But they
saying
have
You're a
that
strict
ruined the
dickhead.
spirit
That's
of
what
the
we're
game.
saying.
They have weapon rules. It's like semi-auto, and you only get like one mag.
No,
Pistols only.
this was not even that much decency. This was full combat load, full in semi-auto. I'm
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But it's
They've
fun
got
when
full
when
comms
we
going,
get
you know.
killed and then we become night vision zombies. Then that really mixes it up.
yeah,
good
but you
luck
can
having
get
someone
killed
kill you.
because you have limited ammo.
Yeah, we have like a
Yeah.
pistol and like a mag and a half or something, and semi-auto
Yeah,
only.
you got
And
some
you
dude
can't
with, like,
shoot them in the
9
back
AM
only
ones.
if they're
That's-
coming at you.
That's what we say. Extra mags over in the secret pockets.
Damn,
My God.
Always cheating. That's what I do. Airsoft cheater.
give us our-
Yeah, if you guys didn't know,
business.
Les
Airsoft
actually
cheater
just doesn't call it.
exposed.
herself.
Hot video.
Dang.
All right. Any other really good questions in the chats?
Best gun for under $100.
SEMA.
Oh my
Crytek
God.
or BFC Avalon?
SEMA AK, SEMA AK, SEMA AK.
What about skydiving into an airsoft game? Is there
Oh, dude.
that?
I always want to skydive.
It's gonna
What
get
do
to
you, Kev has an interesting question. What do you guys feel the airsoft community is lacking?
skydiving
People
into
who
an
always
airsoft event,
post
obviously.
takeout on Instagram.
People who what?
I was gonna say always post takeout on Instagram because Kev asked, but
Oh, does he only
God.
post takeout? Oh, okay, I got you. It's sincerely lacking. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out a way to shit on Hoyt
I
with
think
this one.
consistency. I would say consistency. It's like field to field, event to event. All the rules are different. Be nice if there was some kind of standard, maybe, for like FPS limits, engagement limits, stuff like that. That you'd know for sure from field to field. Like if you set up your gun for one field, you could use it everywhere, or all the events or something. I mean, I understand some of it too. Some stuff's a little more hardcore and stuff a little more, casual. But
But that's what I find funny is that like even I would say some of the most hardcore events in the United States are like Milsim West and Centurion and the big Milsim games. Most of those are 1.5 joule limit. And then you've got some fields and events that insist on having like 1.86 or something else special. I'm like, just settle on the 1.5 joule limit. Like, this has been shown to be functional everywhere forever. Like, why are you trying to be a special snowflake?
1.5 joules. Use fucking Milsim West tourniquets. They're just the best medical system. Oh, God.
Yeah, I saw line clauses like they're trying to implement a whole new medic system with these death sticks or whatever they're called. I forget what
Oh, the
the
hit
name of it
stick?
is. Yeah, the hit stick.
Oh my god.
Which just seems like the worst thing I've ever seen.
I'm gonna say,
and I can't stand it.
No, death
that
sticks
is
are from
one of the
Attack of the
biggest
Clones.
things I don't like about some Milsim event promoters is trying to use like that special weird hit medic indicator. Like Emsato's medical rules are the ones that I think are the least followed.
The red rope.
Yeah, the red rope, and now that the hit stick is going to be allowed as an alternative to that. But like, what was wrong with like the bandage or tourniquet? Like, why is that a problem?
Well,
That system at MSATA was just so weird, and yeah, people never followed it.
Yeah, I don't know, it's super
yeah,
weird.
the bandage kind of sucks because it's just like
The
everyone
floppy
brings
bandage.
everyone just brings some random garbage piece of cotton
It's all
with
glued
them.
together.
Yeah, it gets
the
all screwed
sticky
up.
one. You're like,
I
trying
think
to do
that-
it for 5 minutes.
The
I think
tourniquet
that's what
though
makes
is
it
a different
realistic,
story.
though, is that you're trying to do this weird shit under stress, trying to figure out this janky bandage and wrap it all the way around.
I like
actually
the
kinda
Israeli
like
bandage,
that.
man.
You
What's
mean
that?
just
An
yeah,
Israeli
just like
bandage.
a
Yeah.
like
Just
a
some
little compression
Super
bandage or
long, and
whatever.
you're like, fuck.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I like
Well-
the frantic shit that goes on when you're playing as a medic. Like, you're trying to bandage somebody and you're just trying to get that shit around their arm and you can't manage to do it. I don't know. I think it like adds a little bit of.
Well, when
it
there's
adds
like
some
bandage rules
emotions.
like that, yeah, I like when it's like, oh, it has to be wrapped around like 3 times,
Yeah, like
then
American
then you have to
Milsim
carry
requires
these
you
huge
to do the
things.
full wrap.
Then somebody goes,
Yeah,
and then you just have like 4 feet of bandage hanging off here, perfectly followed to the T.
but yeah, I think the Milsim West tourniquet should just be standard. It's easy to hold. You can put on your kit. It looks good. Like it's easy to put on.
Well, it's
This
easy
hit
for
hole-
some people to put on. You'd be amazed
Yeah,
how I watch.
I
some
mean,
people
no, of
struggle.
course, yeah.
Oh, dude,
I've
it's-
seen
yeah.
people struggle. But yeah, anything else
There's,
that goes away from that,
dedicated
like the hit
pouches
stick,
and
just-
attachment points for it on like actual pieces of gear that people.
yeah.
own.
I mean, you can basically fit it into any like tourniquet, like loop or bungee or whatever,
The
and
Blue Force
it's
gear
there.
one, yeah.
yeah. So I don't know. It's just I think that there should just be a standard, and people just need to stop innovating. Like, there's no more need to innovate in this like.
Well, the thing is,
area.
people
There's
innovate
some.
for innovation's sake.
Yeah.
In a
Yeah.
lot of cases,
Not to make it
And-
better, just to make it
Yeah,
different.
and I feel like that just makes it dumb and too spread out, and too many places have too many different rules. People forget what the rules are at half these places. Most people don't even read their damn rule sets that come with the events. That's what the airsoft community is lacking, in my opinion.
Fucking
is
read,
reading
Jesus.
comprehension. The airsoft community is lacking people who will take the fucking time to look at the rule set, read the rule set, and understand the rule set. That is what the airsoft community is lacking. And if you have any other different answer, you are wrong.
Yeah, someone brought up in the chat that like there are certain events that have like possible injuries that you could take from like getting hit in certain places. It's like, dude, what the fuck? What is it? Is this like Ace in Arma 3? Like, no, I don't want to deal
it's
with that
like-
shit.
It's like real LARP. If you get hit in the arm, you got to put it behind your back,
Oh,
and then you just
God,
gotta
I
shoot
don't-
with one hand.
Nah, dude, I don't want to deal with
Yeah,
that.
which
I'm
how are
good
you going
with-
to enforce that? Airsofters
Yeah.
can barely be bothered to call hits. You think
wanna
that
deal
they're going
with-
to bother to
I want
not
to
use
deal
their
with
arm?
hits.
Hell
I want
no.
to deal with gun hits, and that's it. Just tell me what I got to do.
I think gun hits are like people need to stop counting gun hits. I hate that so
Yeah,
much.
no, I mean it's, I don't know, man. It's just fucking, good lord, standardize or just don't do it at all. It's mind blowing.
Yeah. I hate that every single time I go to a field. It's like I'm always trying to like, okay, well, this field's they have like a 10, FPS bump on their limit. Oh, let me like fix my gun so I can get a little bit
Wait,
higher.
hold on. I've got the worst thing when I go to fields. This field has a 10-foot minimum engagement distance.
Fuck yourself.
Oh, gross.
I will follow your minimum engagement distance only out of desire to avoid being in a drama video getting called out for breaking the rules. But if that minimum engagement distance didn't exist, I would be way happier.
I was at River City one time, and I was using that
Yeah.
like stock recoil shock, so I'm shooting maybe a Joule, and some dude is clearly at like at least 5 feet. You know, I put 2 or 3 shots into him, and he's like, dude, you're not even following MED. I'm like, it's a recoil shock. Just stop being a pussy and fucking take the hits.
Yeah, a 400 FPS gun would still be going faster than your thing shooting at the muzzle at that distance. Like,
100%, dude. It's fucking ridiculous.
And I mean,
Yeah.
like, is there really something that bad about getting shot up close? Like, honestly, like, we're playing airsoft. I think everyone should know that up close shots are going to happen, and it's going to hurt for a second or two, and it's going to be over. Whatever.
You have to assume that level of risk. It's like playing football and saying that you can't hit people.
Yeah.
No.
Or like playing soccer and thinking like, okay, there's no chance I'm going to get hit with like a cleat in the shin or something. Like,
Well,
it's going to happen.
there's being a dick, just like, I don't know, shooting a dude with a 40 mic at 15 feet. And then there's like,
Yeah.
hey, I put 3 shots into this dude at like 6 or 7 feet with a fucking recoil shock. It's just,
into the vest
Yeah.
or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
well,
like-
it was into his side, so I did feel a little bit bad. I'm like, all right, dude, you're a grown man. You should be able to handle this. You shovel snow. You live in Western New York. You
There
should
should
have some
definitely
fucking
be like
you
a
know,
respect.
hair on
Like,
your chest.
if it's gonna be like super close up, like okay, like yeah, like you should try to aim for like a vest or something. But like whatever, like I think unless it's being malicious, like some speed softers who like to shoot little kids in the back of the head. But yeah,
Well, you always have
Get over it.
edgelords. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
edgelords aren't going away.
What I like is like no MED, and someone brought up like best in chat, like no MED and a gentleman's bang, which
Yeah.
isn't the best way of phrasing it, but let's go with that.
what is it? What is gentleman?
I think
My
that's a
plans
great
for
way to
later
do it.
this evening.
Well, no,
Yeah.
if you're like 3 feet away from somebody and you hit him with a bang bang, and then they turn around and you shoot him, it's like, all right, that was a gentleman's bang. You chose not to follow
give
it.
them the chance to
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
correct.
I see.
Yeah.
Dead to rights.
Okay. Yeah, it's just like I feel like MEDs are so problematic because especially when you're playing close
Given the
quarters,
choice,
it's
if
ridiculous.
surrenders are optional, I'm just shooting everybody. Like
Yeah.
call me discourteous, but I would expect the same from you.
Yeah,
It just
Well,
avoids more
speeds
problems
the
in the
game up.
future.
if you have to sit there and like, nope, everyone assumes it's not to them when you hear bang bang or surrender because you're like, I don't want to die. So you're like, I assume he's talking to someone
The
else. I'm
thing
like,
is,
oh,
what-
see, yeah, okay.
is it fucks me up in close range gunfights. It feels where there's an MED.
Yeah.
Because I'll be clearing a building and then I have to like stop
Yeah.
and think, can I shoot this person or do I have to yell bang bang? And while I'm like making that decision, that person who plays her all the time has made their decision. And I'm just like, well, I just lost because I can't even think about the fact that
Yeah.
I should be shooting this person. I have to think about, wait, can I shoot them?
Right.
Yeah, we already always have to be on the lookout for being hit. Like, it's this weird thing you have in airsoft that you don't have like in a real gunfight or whatever. You're not worried about if you're hit. All you care is like you're not dead, and you're gonna keep shooting till you can't shoot no more. Where airsoft is like you're trying to be offensive, but you're also trying to be
Courteous.
aware of, are you being hit? Like, it's this weird thing to keep track of, like of calling yourself out. Essentially, it's like this extra burden. So then you add the 10-foot thing into it. Now it's like I'm doing freaking. I got the Zach Galifianakis meme going on where the numbers flying through my head. I'm trying to figure out 10 feet. I'm trying to know if I'm hit, and then I'm actually trying to do something that doesn't get me killed at the same time. So airsofters can barely figure out how far 10 feet is anyway. Oh,
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Who's worse at figuring out distances? Airsofters with the MED or people in the Walmart line with the 6-foot rule right now? Like, who is the worst judge of distance?
I
Because
think
it's
it's,
a pretty close
I-
one, I think.
Oh man, the thing is, I think there's one worse than both of those, and it is airsofters who are trying to figure out how far their gun is shooting.
Oh, yeah, it's always
man.
350 feet, no matter what it is.
Dude, I'm shooting 350 feet with my stock GNG
Oh,
combat machine
yeah,
and point twos.
Easy, no problem.
We point twos. I just aim it real high, arc it.
You're
That's
just fucking
what I-
shooting
easy.
indirect fire at that point.
Anytime someone asks you about the high cap,
Oh yeah. Well, that's one thing I definitely will give people. Like, that's one thing I will give airsoft or not airsoft. Excuse me, paintball and like mag-fed paintball. Like, there's no question whether or not you were hit. There's a giant splatter
Yeah.
on you, and that's one of the reasons I do
Yeah.
enjoy mag-fed paintball. It's just so much fucking simpler at the end of the day than having to.
Yeah, but
figure
even paintball has like
You can
that's the
cheat.
funny part.
You
It's
can
like
still
People
cheat.
still wipe in
say,
paintball.
people
Oh, yeah,
say
people
that
still wipe.
paintball is impossible to cheat, but like that's not true. They're just better at it.
Yeah, exactly. You can
Yeah.
still wipe and
But you're just
paintball,
being
and sometimes you
malicious.
just won't have stuff, bounce off of you. There are times in Airsoft where you won't feel the hit, and people will get furious about it, Like it bounces off a mag on your vest and you didn't hear it or something.
That's my biggest pet peeve. I don't even get mad at people not calling it when I shoot them. I get more mad at people yelling at people for not calling it. Like if
I
I
hate
shoot
that.
someone and they don't
Biggest pet
call
peeve.
it, I'm like, I could have missed. It could have bounced off of a tree branch between me and them. Maybe they didn't feel it. I'll just keep shooting them. Whereas if someone starts yelling, "What the fuck, man? I can see my BBs going into you. I'm calling you." I'm like, this brings me out of my experience 1,000 times more than having to keep shooting somebody.
Exactly. Well, no, and it's like I think Alphonse says it the best when he just screams "Airsoft" anytime people are.
Well, that
getting
was
really upset.
that's a whole meme with Milsim West too, which is great. It's my favorite.
Yeah, man. People
Ugh.
get too upset about playing a silly,
Yeah.
silly game where we all dress up as silly, silly
That's
soldiers.
you know what?
We're
That's
just
what Airsoft
cosplayers
lacks.
with toy guns.
Perspective.
And perspective. Well, the second someone puts on a plate carrier and an Emerson bump helmet they got for $19 off eBay, they become a fucking special operator, man, and they need the mindset to go with that.
That's right. You better thank them for their service.
Dude, listen, I thank every Milsim West veteran for their service because they're all 6mm Valor Award recipients in my heart.
Yeah, wasn't that a thing for a minute there?
It was the
Yes.
6mm Valor
Still
Award. That was a
exists.
thing.
Eric,
the
you
greatest
have,
honor
you
an
have one of
Airsoft
those patches, don't you?
No, well, I have a 6mm Valor Award patch, but it's
Wow.
not the
Thank you.
original one. It's
For your
it's
6
not the
millimeter
original one.
service.
It was someone who saw our like parody cheater video where I screamed about having a 6mm Valor Award, like as a joke, a little, little dig for the kids who would get it. But this guy saw it, thought that was funny, didn't realize that the 6mm Valor thing was actually a thing back in the day, and made his own version of a 6mm Valor Award patch and gave me a bunch of them. And then I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. I finally got a 6mm Valor Award. He's like, wait, were those a real thing? I'm like, oh, you don't even know.
Oh, my sweet summer child.
And I had to tell him the whole story. I'm like, yeah, they gave one to this guy who wound up being stolen valor, and then they like doubled down on it, and that led to everyone just trolling them, and then they went away, and no one knows what happened to them.
Oh, yeah. Someone brought up, how do you feel about the viability of simunitions seeing any type of sport or game use? For like speed
Ask the
stuff shit,
insurance
maybe?
companies.
Oh, ask the insurance companies.
Are
100%.
these like the freaking bullets with the chalk or whatever that like
yeah,
mark
pretty
the
much.
hit?
It's like it's either using chalk or paint depending on the actual like usage. But one, it's not super insurance viable because I've shot simunitions before and I've been like in a clear house with simunitions. Two, it's not precise, like even less precise than airsoft. Like you might get fucking 30 yards of range at that. So for like
UTM is way better than simunition.
oh yeah, but like you might get I don't know like I said like maybe 30 yards to 40 yards of actual like range, which is fine for stuff like indoors, but you also have a way higher chance of people getting really really upset when they get shot with simunitions. Because if you think people get mad about getting overshot with a Polar Star, wait for them to get hit with a fucking sim round of an actual AR. And
Sim
simunition's
High
also
Kappa.
expensive as well. Oh yeah, sim high
Yeah.
kappa, brother.
Well, and the other reason that simunition and UTM and things like that, people keep on. Some people, I think, see that technology exists and think, well, this is going to replace airsoft. This is way more realistic. That's exactly why it will never replace airsoft. Because airsoft is cheap enough and easy enough to manufacture and is different enough from real firearms that it's not as heavily restricted.
Well, one thing I would also say is that people still enjoy the gaminess aspect of airsoft. It's like, why play Call of Duty when you can play a fully modded out Arma 3 fucking with Ace and all these radio mods and shit like that? Well, it's because Call of Duty is like easier to get into. It's simple and you don't have to really fucking spend a whole lot of time thinking about it. Same thing with airsoft. Like if you want to just shitball for a little while, like a local indoor field or a local outdoor field, that's way simpler than going and getting kitted up for a fucking simunition match.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that simunition will never be viable in even states where like AR-15s are illegal.
No,
So,
yeah, exactly. That's like a very prohibitive thing to very specific parts of the country, And I really don't think too many people are willing to spend, what is it, like 40 cents a round for simunition, 50 cents a round?
At least.
Yeah, so you're spending $15 a mag on that kind of stuff. So
Definitely would cut down on spam.
So we actually have a,
shooting would go down greatly when you 40 cents for
Yeah.
a trigger pull. You'd be like,
oh yeah.
he's probably out. Not gonna reach that guy. You like only the sure shots would be taken.
We actually have a question in the chat here from UFO who says he had a variation of this question as well. How do you guys feel about the restrictions on the uniform selection for NATO for Milsim West? Do you think it's too restrictive for NATO as a whole? No, and here's
No.
why.
I don't think it's restrictive enough.
Multicam is the most common airsoft camo. Everyone uses multicam, and every NATO force in the real world uses multicam. But
variation of it,
you
yeah.
also aren't stuck to multicam. If you read the TACSOC, you will learn that you can use other camo variations if you get a squad of 9 or more to all commit to using the guns and the camo and the impression of the appropriate NATO country for the camo you want to use.
Yeah,
So
people might not want to run multicam, but if you want to, like, at this point, every major NATO force is running it, like Eric said, not to mention the fact that, like, the U.S. Army deploys with it, the Air Force deploys with it, the Navy deploys with it, Marines have their own thing, but you can run MARPAD at fucking MSW events.
Yeah.
Pretty much, like, 60% of every NATO force runs multicam or a variation of it as their, like, standard deployment camouflage.
The last MSW I went to, they had several different, like, I think there was, we had the just regular multicam NATO group, then we had a French team that ran, like, their own nationalized camo, then there was, like, a Chinese team, then there was a freaking Filipino team, and they all had their own squad, like, squad camos because they had put together these groups and got it approved, and it's cool. Like, if you want to actually commit and do it, like, you can get it done. It's not that bad.
And that's the point of Milsim West, is that you need to have that little bit of a restriction for authenticity, and if you want less restrictions, you go militia.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
militia or civilian or whatever.
If you look at, like, Keg, for example, rep the brand, but like, everything we're doing is, like, multicam uniform, but then, like, some fucking horrible looking UCP IOTVs and shit that you wouldn't normally see at an MSW event, but because we have more than 9 people who are going to be going to these, it's like, cool, kosher,
Well, and that's the point, is that you're supposed to get that uniformity and looking like it's standing military forces fighting against each other, which is why Rus 4 obviously has their requirements to look like Russian soldiers, and then the militia is just like a bunch of farmers who grabbed whatever they could find at the local military surplus store or got handed to them by their Russian handlers.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet track jackets.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you really do need the least restrictive faction to be on the Russian side because Russian kit is still such a niche thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, I would be excited to see like a Borther militia faction, so I can dress up as General Blood Agent from all these 3-per militias.
Oh my God.
No, please, no. I never want to see that.
You don't want to see 3-per militia at MSW events?
I want to see 3-per militia at MSW, and I want to see all the negligent discharges be how they actually lose every gunfight. Anyway, so we're coming up on 2 hours. Unless there's any other really good pressing questions, maybe this is a good time to
last-minute ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, Lane and Brain. What do you two have to say about it?
Lane and Brain.
About MSW in particular?
Anything. What's on your mind?
I miss Corey. But
Same.
Corey from Gun Gamers?
yeah, Corey's my favorite gun gamer. And if you disagree, you're
Damn.
wrong.
No, you're right.
Sorry to break that to the two of you right in front of you, but
I care about
I don't
Corey
know.
more than I care about my family.
same.
Wow. Very depressing now. This is a very
Yeah,
depressing
that-
way to
yeah,
end the
that was
stream.
it,
Thank
that
you
was
for
it.
that.
Real.
I'm really good. I'm really good for doing that, just ruining things.
Oh, man.
Wait, there's an interesting question in the chat.
Oh, this one's for you, Les. Is it the Ho Ching Young one?
Do you guys think Airsoft is being more friendly to female players because it seems more similar size and
Smaller.
lighter guns are being made?
The airsofters can't read.
I don't really need a light gun.
She's a grown
So-
woman. She's strong.
See that
This-
MP5?
The MP5, for its size, it's actually heavier than my AK, which was not the intention of buying this this
Super light
gun. I
kits.
thought this was gonna be my super light, agile kit that I was gonna move all around and jump through windows at maximum speed.
Rappel
But,
down buildings wearing toe shoes.
This is like I don't know. I think it's like an 8-pound gun,
Damn.
and
They
Except
put
it's
like
fine.
a
VFC.
block of steel somewhere inside.
yeah, because it starts out being 6 pounds, and then for some unknown reason, because I picked up my AK the other day and I was like, wow, this gun's really light, but this is way heavier, and then you start adding nonsense on it, and it gets pretty heavy. So yeah, I mean, females can use these guns too, just like the big boys. So I don't really think that airsoft needs to like
Condescending.
move towards lighter stuff or anything like that. I think the only thing that needs to be really addressed is the sizing of gear and making it more accessible for people of smaller sizes, even though there are like children sizes, but children sizes don't necessarily fit full grown women. So
Yeah.
um,
Well, you
There
usually
needs to
need to
be-
step up into the Gucci gear realm in order to get like
Yeah.
the properly sized stuff. But a lot of the reproduction and airsoft targeted stuff is usually Borther sized, and that's more
Yeah.
for it's more for your thick
I mean,
daddies.
even my expensive, like my Agilite vest, that was an expensive piece of kit. That was like a $250 vest, and that does not fit, and that will never fit. And as much as I like its comfort and everything, it's not good. But you can buy something like a Slickster or an LBX or something like that. But those are also expensive, for airsoft. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's really what the issue is. That and like gloves being way too freaking huge. So
I would say that the like the real steel industry is moving towards being more woman friendly, specifically because now they have actual like plates designed for women to account for having boobs. So like it's like
Yeah.
a triple curve plate that actually like curves around your chest.
yeah, because a lot of the female
deflection.
airsofters don't wear anything in the vest. You just wear your vest without any like even fake plates in it, and it is more comfortable. But I'm lucky.
Or you wear the,
I
like the
have
PTS foam
tiny
plates.
boobs, so I don't get bothered. Yeah, well, I've used the PTS foam plates, and they can also be kind of like, they don't really sit that well. They're kind of bulky, and they can push the vest kind of far off your body, like with
Alright, do a
everything
T-Pain
else in
thing.
between. So
Okay, TP.
yeah. Is that good?
Yeah, when the auto tune
Oh
hits,
my
you
God.
gotta record the chorus.
You know how much I love this mixer, so good.
All right. What do you think? Is that a good place to end it? Have we peaked?
Yeah,
I
I
think we've
think
peaked.
it's
It's not gonna get any better than
It's
this.
it's gonna turn into garbage time.
think
It's
we've
a
buried
fun
it.
feature. So yeah. Anyway, Gun Gamers Podcast episode 16. We got Eric and Kaylee here as my co-hosts, and
Hold on, real quick, before we sign off. Where
Oh.
can people find you,
Yeah.
Lane and Brain?
socials.
Oh,
just
I
gonna
guess
hit
I'll
that.
go first.
Okay.
Yeah, Lance
Um,
first.
You can find me on YouTube or Instagram at the BB Warrior. And yeah, I'm starting to post more and more on YouTube. Instagram will be in the near future, but hopefully videos every other week or so.
And you can find me also on those same platforms. Just search Brain Exploder. I'm pretty much the only guy that uses that stupid name. And if you want to buy any of my things, brainexplodercreations.com for the 3D printed stuff, and the Gamma stuff is at brainexplodermerch.com. That's it.
Hell yeah. Buy the shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you want to buy Task Force Keg shit, Task Force Keg Supply Shop on Spreadshirt.
This is not your turn, Ian.
Shut up,
It's
it's my
always his
podcast.
Yeah,
turn.
you had your
You
turn.
already-
Shut up.
Oh,
End
it's
the
your
streak. You had
podcast
your
now.
turn.
Oh!
Listen, you put in some of the groundwork, and then you can call it your podcast too.
I'm sorry,
Anyway.
but when I'm running computers built by me, I can't be running too much groundwork, so.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, built by Les. But yeah, like I said, Task Force Keg Supply Shop. You can get Task Force Keg related shit like the fucking alcoholic T-shirt and Cleared Hot Designs. I do cool military related shit based off of my experiences overseas. But barring all of that shilling, Gun Gamers Podcast episode 16. It's been real, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.
Later, y'all.
Wait, hold on. Almost there.